Hello, hello, hello. It's Rashida coming live to you from Puerto Vallarta. I'm in a hotel room and I have a friend. Um, if this is your first time watching my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Rashida Dow. I am here, the host of youtube.com/Rashida Dow. Or Rashida. I think it's just Rashida. Anyway, I am a person who's lived abroad a bunch of times. I live in Mexico City now, so I talk about Mexico a lot. But long, long time ago, wait, how many years? Almost 30 years ago, 25 years ago, I lived, no more than that, girl, 30 years ago. I lived in Jamaica more than 30 years ago. I lived in Jamaica for a couple of years. And so I'm super excited today to talk to Clarice, also known as Moika Moiselle, to talk to her about living in Jamaica because she's from Mississippi and decided one day she was going to move to Jamaica. And so I'm going to stop my introduction here and let her take it away. Clarice, go for it.
Okay, hey, I'm Mocha Mazel. And that's kind of how I have it in a nutshell. I just up and decided. Some other things happened before then, but yeah, that's essentially what happened. So I'm currently in Jamaica. I've been in Jamaica for over 2 years now. I am here. I have residency, and I'm here on a work permit. So yeah, so that's the story. That's it in a nutshell. But there's a lot of other factors and things. But I'm in Jamaica, and I love Jamaica, and Jamaica's home for me. So
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about it all. Let me start by saying good morning to the ladies in my comments. A lot of y'all from my YouTube membership are here right now. Let me shout y'all out. Pent Up Wanderlust, Francis, my mommy's here. Glass Half Full, Shauna, Yari, Junket. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, and thank you for being here. I'm super excited about this day and what we're going to talk about. Eh, eh, Okay, so who in the comments let us know if you've seriously considered moving to Jamaica? This video is for you. Clarice loves a prop. Clarice loves a theme and a prop. So she gonna come correct today with the theme and the prop. She gonna let you know she is ready.
can I see it?
Listen, can y'all see the jersey? Can
Yes,
y'all see it? Can y'all see it? She
yes,
says she is representing. Okay,
absolutely, absolutely.
so Clarice, let's back up a second. Everyone wants, no one's asked yet, but I know everyone's gonna want to know how you got residency. But before we get there, starts from the very, very top. How did it happen? You thought Jamaica, and boom, you were in Jamaica, or like walk us through the steps.
Well. So long time ago, for a while, I had been, I was always curious about living outside of America. I had visited Jamaica. I had some classmates who were Jamaican when I was in grad school. We was in a Pan African Studies program together. I came down there and visited for like a few weeks. It was never in my mind frame that I was gonna actually move and live out here, but that was my first time visiting Jamaica, and I hadn't been back since. So Corona time came around, and weirdly enough, a few months before that, I started to really try and figure out how to earn income online because I was like, I hate working, but I was like, at the very least, let me see if I can make money from the comfort of my home or wherever I'm at from behind my computer. So that I started that a few months prior, and then Corona came, and then everybody was forced uh, to be at home. So I was kind of like, stuff just led to each other, y'all. But anyway, so I started teaching English online. Have a long, extensive background, education, teaching, media, all of that. But it was a way for me. I was making money online. That was all I cared about at the time. I was like, all right, I can do this. I got some income coming in where I don't physically have to be anywhere. And when Corona came, and I was living in Mississippi at the time. I had hopped around a bunch of places in the U.S. I lived in upstate New York, Syracuse, New York, where I was going to grad school. I lived in Atlanta. I lived in Ohio. I lived in Tennessee. I hopped around trying to find, where my place is, or where I'll be happy. And none of those places worked out. I never really, none of them ever resonated with me really. So Corona came. I was living in Tennessee, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just move back home in Mississippi till I figure out, or this Corona stuff die down. I don't know. So I ended up moving back in with my mother, and then just living. It's Mississippi. I don't think I got to go into too much detail, but if you're familiar with Mississippi, all right, then just take that imagery. Some of it is still there, a lot of it is still there, and but anyway, that's where I was living, and I definitely knew I wasn't staying there. So I was like, I think it's time for me to go. I was like, I've lived in a bunch of places in the U.S. I got money online coming in now. I think I'll be good. At the very least, I won't be homeless and starving. So I started scouring the interwebs, like, let me figure this thing out. So of course, so I had a checklist. The checklist was, it had to be a predominantly black country.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Mexico, I was thinking about Mexico, but outside of that, I was like, it has to be predominantly black.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted somewhere that was English speaking, and I think that was it. I think that was all I required at the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Started, researching and looking. So of course, ideally, Africa was in mind, but realistically, I was like, Africa is very expensive to get back and forth from, travel to. I didn't want to be that far from home, from family. Even though I wanted to leave the U.S., I still wanted access in it, in the event of emergency or somewhere, or if anything hit the fan, I'll be at least a hop and a skip away from getting back. And so Africa was still on the radar, but was kind of like on the back burner. I was thinking Mexico, but I was like, there's too many white folks in Mexico. I know a little bit of Spanish, but not to the point where I can fluently communicate and not, get frustrated. And so I was like, I think Jamaica is the move. I was like, it's predominantly black. They're English speaking, outside of patois, the other language is English. I got my folks, I got my food. It's the Caribbean. Cultural wise, it's not too off, base. With some aspects, I could get that. I could blend in. So Jamaica made sense for me. It was perfect, and I came and I was like, cool, that's it. I'm here now. What I need to do to become a resident citizen or whatever. So that was how it happened. In a nutshell. So
Okay.
in a matter of a few weeks, when I actually decided on Jamaica and actually moving to Jamaica, it was like a few weeks, maybe like a little over a month when I actually decided and made the move.
What so you went to Jamaica before you figured out how you could get residency.
Um, yes, I knew I was going to have to go through some type of process. So I was operating on a tourist visa at
Uh-huh.
first. Um,
Uh-huh.
and so when I was doing my research, I was in those groups, all the blacks groups, the move
Mm-hmm.
around groups, and I was asking, I was like, anybody in Jamaica? And this one lone soldier stood up and she was like, I'm here. And so we started connecting and chatting. And she was like, you want to come out? You can stay with me, for like a little while till you get yourself situated. I don't recommend that. But again, I, established a rapport with her. I connected with her. And I was comfortable enough. And she offered, a little place to stay. I paid her some money. People been reaching out to me, asking me, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "Listen, nobody was helping me to just come lay up in their house. Like that wasn't the case. Please don't assume that. I do not have that space for you to do that. Okay,
Right. You're not
I
paying that forward because you already paid the price, right? Like you already paid.
paid the price. Yes.
Right.
So, I came, and I was quarantined because it was still during that time. So yes, when I first came, I was in quarantine, and I just started figuring out or thinking about like how am I going to be here long term. And she was kind of guiding me with the beginner steps and what I needed to just operate and function, stuff like that. So I came on a tourist visa. I didn't know, how I was going to sustain my stay there when I first got there.
Okay. Is that something that you would tell anybody else to do?
No. Well, because I mean it depends. If you're someone like myself, like I did the research. I went with my what I felt was in my spirit and my gut. I talked with her for a while. We communicated. Of course, she wanted to get familiar with me too. And we just clicked. Like it was
Mhm.
instant. Like I told her, girl, I was ready to go. I'm so sick of living in America. She was like, girl, me too. That's why I've been gone for, this, that, the other, however long she been gone. So I don't recommend that, unless you have a, trusted source. Again, I was like, if anything again hits the fan, at least I'll be able to make it back to the airport. I'll have some way of navigating, getting out or a situation, everything was to occur. But that wasn't on my mind. I don't recommend people do that if they don't. I have a special type of spirit. So when I say I'm out, like I
That's
don't
it.
know. It depends. If you're like me, if you don't mind it, but I don't recommend it, for safety reasons. But that's what I did. So
All right. Okay. So you've been in Jamaica for how long now?
it's been over 2 years. It'll be 3 years in July.
And somewhere along the way, you started helping other people move to Jamaica.
Yes. So initially, I had the bright idea to start a Facebook group because me, her, and two other people, we got together and start, figuring out what the process because there really wasn't a space for that for somebody trying to migrate here like legally and go through the processes and stuff, go through the immigration process. We found that a lot of people under the assumption they just come live out here all willy nilly, and then they would get mad at the people at the airport when they told, ban them for coming back or they had to pay a fine and all this stuff. They thought they could just come and live out here in Jamaica. So that's another the differentiating factor for me. Like I didn't come with the idea that I was gonna come and like just be here or whatever. Like I was like, I knew it was gonna be, I was gonna have to go through some type of process, but I was like, let me get there, get familiar with things first, and then start the whatever it was that I needed to do.
Okay. Okay. So what does the support you've provided to people over the years, what does it look like? And how has it changed over time?
Yes. So initially, we started off as a community. It was a Facebook group. Me and the other people that I work with, we were going to again create the process, smooth out the process, make it more understandable, take people through the phases of doing what they needed to do to set themselves up in Jamaica. That was the goal initially. So um, people started coming, it started gaining like traction and all of these things. But again, a lot of that has changed. Um, but that's how it started. So we
Hmm.
were like trying to help people with the process, just break it down, make it smoother, let them understand what's required, what needs to happen, and just understand, Jamaica, because a lot of people haven't experienced Jamaica outside of tourism or outside of a tourist area. So it's going to be a very different experience living out, being outside of a tourist area, in which again I had never visited Jamaica as a tourist. So that side of me was not even, I didn't even know, what that was like, but I had never had that experience. So we were trying to help people such as myself, and who wanted to live here long term or permanently. That's how we started. And yes, it has changed in a significant amount of ways.
Okay. So what are you doing now? How do you provide support now?
So I want to say shortly after we launched the space, the community space, we started building on the website. We started building out the different consultation options that we have to, help people get a better understanding. So that was our starting point. Um, since then, we have a more structured community. So we have recently transferred off of Facebook. We are in process of transition off of Facebook to a more structured platform, a more organized platform, a more strictly I'm trying to live in Jamaica platform. Being on Facebook was just not, it's again another reason we had to leave. People see Jamaica, they see, tourism, well, not see tourism, but they see, what's going on in here. Can y'all tell me where to come for vacation? Tell me what state when I come for vacation next month, or where could my sister host her wedding? And I'm like, we that's not why we came in here. It's like 1,000,005 Facebook groups, places, something for get tour stuff about Jamaica. We were trying to remain just like for the people who wanted to live here permanently, but eventually it just people, we could say it till we were blue in the face. The rules is there, the blasted everywhere who we're for. It just was not translating that that was what the space was for. So we decided to move off of Facebook, and then just because Facebook is just toxic in general for the most part, it just was not. It wasn't functioning the way our new platform will be functioning once we get everything rolling. So
Okay. And your new platform, I'm going to drop a link to it. So if people want support, not in figuring out where they should have their sister's wedding, right? But they want support in moving to Jamaica as a expat or a repat. And a repat is someone who is from the place and is moving back.
right. So that's the
Okay.
unique
So
thing about the community too, is that we have a community of expats and repats. For Black people, it's Black expats and repats. And
okay.
so, like, even though the trajectory may be a bit different, a lot of them who are returning want to return for the same reasons that expats, I want to come. But the framework may be a bit different. Expats, we don't have residency or lineage, so we have to go through a different. It's the immigration process, which I have to let people know. It's like you're trying to move to another country, you're going through an immigration process. Like, they just cannot understand that for a lot of them. And I'm like, that's what people have to do when they come to America.
Yeah.
They have to go through these processes.
They
So
just come over with a suitcase. It's not just I pulled up and I'm here now.
like, if they're coming there, and trying to situate themselves
Mhm.
legitimately and do what they need to do, they're going through an immigration process. So that's another thing that we just again had to communicate. Like, don't go telling them people up there at the ministry and offices and all that stuff. We said you can come and just you have to come down to Jamaica forever and ever. That ain't what we said. Do not come out
Right.
here on us, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, since then we've built a consultation platform. And so the community, although it has been somewhat frustrating operating on Facebook, for those who, it benefits and those who want it, it's actually the community factor that has been such like the thing that makes people gravitate towards it. Because when you are moving to a new country, despite you still want that community, those people that have something similar to you, that familiarity. Even though we are in a Black country, there are still things that there are different lived experiences that we have as Black Americans and they have as Jamaicans. Even though some of the stuff cross references, there's still different lived experiences that you know you want to connect with people who may have a better understanding of. So the community has been a great portion of it. We have some great people in there. We've met some great people. We do meetups throughout the island so people can get more familiar with Jamaica because the terrain is so vast. Um, I'm in Kingston, but I'll go riding around somewhere. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna move up here. I'm trying to get up in the bush. So it's too many different things and layers that go. It's an immigration process the same way
Right.
with anyone will move to another country. You're gonna have to get familiar with the lay of the land, what the process is, how to be there legally, all of that stuff. So the community has been a big has been a strong foot for us, building out our organization. But outside of that, we have the consultation platforms. We're in the process of mapping out some relocation tours again because Jamaica differs depending on where you at. So we have a lot of things in the works.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if you have questions about moving to Jamaica, drop them in the comments and then we'll get to them, get to those. But for you, for right now, what has been the best part about moving to Jamaica for you? Okay, one thing that's like big and like life changing, because I know I'm sure you got a big life changing thing, and then one like tiny, like petty thing. Give me the best big thing and the best like super small, unimportant thing.
The best thing, sorry,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna say sorry, but the best thing is I barely see white people anymore. I stay away from tourist areas for that reason as well. Like I love just going outside and not seeing nobody but my folks. I mean, there other people I sprinkle here and there, of course, but beautiful black people everywhere I go. You know what I also love? I love going to like the waterfront and seeing the little kids and the babies. They just swimming like fishes. We never had. I'm
Okay.
jealous because we never. They just swim like fishes. Well, most of us in America, we scared of water. Like
Right.
they are in there. They like just having the time of their life, just free. So
Mhm.
I love seeing that. Um, but that was the biggest thing. Like it's not existing in whiteness for me. That's what I
Mhm.
love about being here. Do you have Jamaica's not a utopia? No place is.
Mhm.
Um, but it's the things that I appreciate are what makes it what it is for me.
Okay.
So try not to romanticize it, but that's my experience.
Okay. What's like a small thing and you're like, I like this.
Um, I would like to the I love taking a taxi. So
Okay.
just like just the taxi. Right? I'm in Kingston, so taxis are everywhere. You learn so much about Jamaica just being, and they don't know it. I'll be from somewhere else. I just be in there listening, like a spy. And
Mhm.
yeah. You want to learn about Jamaica, like the conversations they be having in there just be hilarious, and I just be chuckling to myself. um, and then I love hearing them talk about white people too, and they see a white person somewhere. And I had the funniest experience one time in a taxi. So it was this: I was in a taxi with other people. Oh, and we be in there like crowded, like a little clown car. So we packed up in there sometimes. So I took a taxi. I was going from Halfway Tree to Sovereign. I was probably going I don't know. It was a old white lady in one of them them old white ladies that had them vans with stickers and stuff everywhere, like little hippie looking car
Mhm.
vehicle. She pulled up next to one of us, and so of course, like they started messing with her, and it was like asking her. I think it was asking her where she was going or something like that. She rolled up her window. She didn't want no conversation. So they started talking about her. They was saying, they was like she reminded them of some lady off that movie. And I was like, Matilda, and they bust out laughing because they was talking about Miss Trunchbull. Because that's what I thought when I was looking at her. I didn't say Matilda in my accent, but and it was just like this ruckus of laughter. Everybody was like, ah, yeah. So that was one of my funniest moments. But
Okay.
taking the taxis, it's like I don't know, it's the Fast and the Furious sometimes. If you ever want a real live Fast and the Furious experience, go take a taxi in Jamaica. But other than that, yeah, you just learn so much. Just
Okay.
listen, observe, social listening in the taxi. That's my favorite thing. That's a small thing.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Do you, when you first moved there, did you have trouble like getting through the patois? Like, did you have trouble being understood or understanding what people were saying?
So I operated like a mute for the first few months I was here
People
because,
were saying nothing.
or I would try to sound. So here, initially, when I was trying to talk to patois, so I had to like start experimenting because I was like I need to be able to communicate better. So I started with little words like especially like when I'm in a I need to get out at the taxi or somewhere, how I say bus stop, just using the words that they use
Hmm.
to communicate. So bus stop, I'll just say like one word or something like that. And then that would be it. Of course, it was very trouble. It wasn't troubling, but it was like I just had to listen very, 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 very hard to understand. I get it better now, but like I was very much just like absorbing when I first came.
Okay.
So, like when I first came, I was staying in Montego Bay. I stayed with the lady that helped me for like a month, but then I was released out into the wild, and I came to Kingston. So, yeah, I had to learn how to, at first it was just listening, and actually because it was Corona time, that much stuff was going on. So I was literally going to just handle business, do what I need to do, just like the basics.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say that, like, aided me a lot, and I was able to get by for a while. But then when
Okay.
I did start trying to like talk it, I would get when they was asking me. They think I'm from everywhere out here. I'm from Cuba. I'm from Barbados,
Of course.
Haiti. I'm from Grenada. They think I'm from some other Caribbean island, or they think I'm from uptown. Like I got an uptown bougie Jamaican uptown accent. That's what I get most of the time. They don't clock my Americanness unless I just full on
Uh-huh. Give
speak
him
it.
the Mississippi. Yep. Okay.
So even if I do, I don't know. I guess this accent, they think I'm from England or the UK. I don't know. I think the US is much less Mississippi.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you told us what you liked, a big thing and a small thing. Tell us some things that have been challenging or you didn't like, a big thing and a small petty thing.
So some of the things that I didn't like were kind of, I would say it was just like my lack of knowledge around it or not knowing how to go through the process. So I had the hardest time trying to find somewhere to stay.
Mm-hmm.
I was staying when I first came to Kingston. I was doing the Airbnb thing, which was not sustainable, but I had to because I didn't have anywhere. I had a hard time learning how to get housing.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. I started figuring out like where do I find somewhere to live? I don't really know people like that out here to just ask. Um, so I was doing the Airbnb thing. People helped if they could. Not to say I didn't have any help, but it was just like a hard like, how do I solidify this? So I started getting in the Gleaner in the newspaper, looking at classifieds because that's what they told me to do. Go to Gleaner, get the classifieds. So I was like, all right. I was getting a Gleaner. I was going to see all these places. At any time I would find somewhere that I would like to stay, it would be like gone within hours. Because I was like, let me go contemplate, make a decision. You call the number back, it's gone. I'm
It's
like, man,
gone.
this was like all the time. I was like, and then it's like, again, not being familiar with Jamaica, and like, so I would see somewhere, I would call somewhere, and then I would try and find it, and it's all the way out here, or it's in Portmore. I'm all over the place. I have no clue where I'm going. That was difficult. I basically just buckled down, and got a realtor because I guess that's like the process. It's either you do the classifieds, you get a realtor. So realtors function like, so you would need a realtor to get like an apartment out here, or like a lot of the rental things are. It's either the people are renting them, the owners, or you probably have to go through a realtor to find
Okay.
anywhere to get an apartment, house, whatever. Again, I was not familiar with that process. I only knew realtors from if you was trying to buy a house. Um, so that was a different experience, but they don't have like you can just go to like a leasing office and just apply like a lot of
Right.
places do in the US. So that was the thing. That was a big thing I had a hard time with.
Okay. Give us a small thing you had a hard time with, or
uh,
like what you didn't like. You can be petty on this one.
oh, ooh, okay. The men were a lot to deal with at first. Just walking down the street and like, my goodness, like having to like fight them off everywhere. Like they do not care. All right. So I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to go to the store, Mr. Sir. Like, I'm just trying to leave a few groceries. They could be intense. So that was a thing I had to figure out how to navigate. And then the lady who helped me, she helped me with that too. She was like, this is what you do, or just brush them off really quickly, because it's like any little
conversation. You open that door.
And see, I'm from Mississippi
Yeah.
too, because so we just naturally just be, oh yeah,
Hmm. No.
wrong thing.
No.
We was married by the end of the hour, so I didn't know that, and I'm just having
Okay.
conversation. And after that, that was the thing I had to get like, let me just stop being friendly, or like at least like just like
Okay.
super welcoming, presenting, or something.
Okay. Did the aggressive friendliness ever make you feel unsafe?
Not too much. I had situations where I'm like, let me remove myself very, 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 very quickly.
Okay.
But it's not like often. But I've had those situations to where they just get super comfortable real too soon. So that's been far and few in between. But again, like I would just figure out how to distract them or go somewhere else or whatever. That's how I managed that at first. But now I kind of just I'll just cuss them out if they get on my nerves. I or I tell them go on a move or whatever. Like I've gotten comfortable enough to where they don't identify me being from anywhere else. So however I see Jamaican women dealing with them is what
Yeah. Okay.
it was like, okay, this is how you navigate this. All right, cool. So there's that.
Okay. All right. Let's get back to the apartment real quick. Someone asked if your platform, boop, 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 where'd it go? Does your membership show how to find housing? Pent up Wanderlust.
So we've had a like yes, we are building it out. How to go through the inquiring housing process. And again, we're there to also help with consults and things like that. But we're building out the platform again for those things, the housing process, the purchasing process. And we also have, realtors that work with us currently that understand, who we are and who our platform is for. So we have that situated because I don't want y'all going through what I went through. But yeah, so everything and it, as we build these things out, again, we have people in there who've been there for a long time and who know what the processes is. And if it's not like very strictly straightforward, we have some people who can help you get through that phase.
Okay. All right. What is the thing that people need the most help with? Okay. Two-part question. What is the thing people think they need the most help with when they're moving to Jamaica? And what is the thing they actually need the most help with when they're moving to Jamaica?
The crazy thing is what people need the most help with, especially when they're coming, is understanding. It's just like basic understanding of you're moving to a new country. There are different laws and processes and things in place. That's like the biggest thing. Again, because I think also being on Facebook, people just hopped in there thinking that we were just coming and doing was like, no, like trying to get people to understand. I mean, come do what you want to, but they think they don't think that Jamaica has rules. They think Jamaica is just everything irie, or you just come and just lay up forever. They don't think there's like structures and organizations and things in place for them to operate and function. So that's been like weirdly enough, that's been like the biggest thing, just trying to get people to understand. Like I know, people have their idea of Jamaica, and a lot of people again only experience through tourism, but like no, like you have and then it's like you're again they expect because they believe that Jamaica is just poor, they don't really, they need me and my little $5 that I'm bringing. They should be lucky, they should be happy that I wanting to come and take up residency in their country. No, that is not the case. Okay. You have to go through the processes just like you would anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest thing, getting people to understand. And as people think that Jamaica should be grateful for them coming here.
In any Mexico Facebook group, any city, anywhere, you see that all the time. What do you mean I can't just come and stay as long as I want? I'm bringing my tourist dollars. They should be grateful. They need me here. And it's like, baby, just go home.
No, they
Like,
don't.
because you're not okay. And those are also the people who are like, I had to go do this at this office, and I cannot believe it took me all day. And they weren't clear on the website about what I needed to bring with me. No, they weren't. And they never gonna be. Like,
Oh my God. It's like you're reading my mind. You're reading my
that's it.
You're reading my mind. Like, and I'm like you, and they expect, so I'm like, it's banking, all this other stuff. You can't just, you're going to have to go through extra processes, especially as a person who does not have residency or lineage here. Like, they have no record of you. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you can't just, there are things that's going to be, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take some time. It's going to be longer. Okay. You are gonna have to go through some phases. Like it's not, and again, people just think they're gonna plop here and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty ugly to see. Like when I see it, I'm like,
and they don't pay for help either. And so it's another thing, like, just operating Facebook group, they just,
yeah.
They do not want to pay for the help, but you know what they will do after they go and have so much trouble? They'll come in there and complain about how horrible and bad Jamaica is. That's what they will do.
Yeah.
Instead of getting the guidance and getting help, they will come in there and just, all of that, the whole shebang.
I can't believe, and it's like, well, believe it. Like this is what you wanted.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like, I want to move to a more laid back place. But not like I want the stuff that I want people to jump to attention when I need stuff done. I want the place I am to be low key until I need something done.
Yeah.
And then it's like snappity snap snap. What's going on?
It can be problematic because people again who have only experienced Jamaica through tourism may be on the impression that everybody in Jamaica is here waiting to wait on them hand and foot. It's just it's so much entitlement, and that I don't want to be responsible for bringing them type of folks out here. Is honestly, so again, that's why it was just so important to get off that platform, get off Facebook, and I want to deal with the people who respect the people, Jamaica, the liberty, that just who want to come here for what we want to help people come here for. All the other stuff, like, I'm sorry, no.
Okay.
Don't come getting on these people's nerves, and don't come saying that I told you to come out here. Like, don't
you're acting crazy.
Uh-uh.
They're gonna treat me differently after you act crazy with them.
Right.
Like, I don't need that. I don't need that.
I know they love me in the community. I'm a community member, and you come out here acting all crazy. They go, no, I've done a lot to be a yachty foreign. Okay, I've done too much. You can ruin my reputation.
Don't do that. Don't know that. Okay, so question for you. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, what is the biggest city you've lived in the U.S.?
That I've lived in, I would probably say Atlanta.
Okay. How does the cost of living in Jamaica generally, I know you can't speak to the breadth of it, but how does it generally compare to the cost of living in Atlanta?
I would say, depending on where you are, expect kind of like the similar. So I won't say it's quite as well. Some places are. It's not quite as pricey as Atlanta, but think about it like Kingston is like the city area. The moving and the shaking. It's the city aspect of Jamaica. Then next will be Montego Bay. So expect a higher cost of living in those places. Outside rural areas can be much less expensive. So that's another conversation that they're starting to have because the real estate market is kind of getting more foreign marketed too, and locally people are starting to feel the pinch. So but expect that type of dynamic. So where I am, rent is probably more expensive than it would be in St. Catherine or St. Mary, or like those other places that are not, people just out there living, chilling, like expect a different cost of living.
Okay. All right. Now talk us through how you got your visa, your work permit, them
Okay.
things. Talk through that.
So I started looking into what the options were for living here long term, and what the process, and to also eventually get citizenship if possible. So the most common one is marriage. People are familiar with that. I wasn't gonna get married for no papers. I wasn't
No,
going there.
not marrying the first Jamaican man you see.
No, no, I
Forget.
was not doing that. Was not doing that.
Okay.
I'm not retired. Okay.
But
No,
that was another question. There is a retirement visa.
I think they have some retirement options
Okay.
um, that are available. I have to look more. There is, but I can't give you like verbatim what it is right now.
Fine.
There are some retirement options. What other options that they have? So it was that, and it was a work permit, visa, something like that. So I was like, okay, work permit. How do I go about getting it? Right. So I'm not Jamaican. I cannot legally earn money in Jamaica. That's also another thing that people don't want to understand.
If I can work in the US, why can't I bring my talents anywhere?
Yeah, there are plenty of people, because you have to think like it becomes very suspicious, right? And then when people talk about crime and stuff in Jamaica, a lot of it, I'm not gonna say a lot of it, a good bit of it is imported, right?
Mhm.
So they are starting to look and pay more closer attention to the people who come out here and just who don't have Jamaican lineage.
Mhm.
If you don't have a Jamaican passport, don't have a Jamaican background, you're not married to a Jamaican, why are you just out here living? How are you supporting yourself, right?
Mhm.
Those are the questions that they are starting to, not starting to, but that's what like any immigration, like what are you doing out here without a
Mhm.
job, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, it seems like I don't qualify for any of the other stuff right now. Let me figure out what the work permit process is. So I'm not Jamaican. That was the point I was making. I'm not Jamaican, so I can't get a job here just like that. Not, you can. It's, far and few in between where that does happen. But again, I wasn't trying to work for nobody, and the pay is probably not, what we are accustomed to in the
Mhm.
States. All right. I don't recommend, if you have additional income resources, to come out here and taking up employment from people who probably need it more than you do. So the next step for me was to start a business or to register a business or something out here. And that is what I did to start the work permit process, because you can get a work permit through a employer, or if you are self-employed and working a business. Some people just come out here and open businesses, which I don't think they have any stipulations against that. But I wanted residency. Like I wanted to build my pathway to being here long term.
Mhm.
So I went through the work permit process to ensure, to build my steps to be here forever.
Okay, so getting a work permit can lead to residency. But a
Yeah,
work permit by itself isn't residency? Like, you don't have like it's not like a temporary
you
residency?
yes, so you can get residency with a work permit, but I'm saying to get it through, you have to come here through a job or a
Okay.
business.
Right.
So it's a very slim chance that a employer, and they also, are kind of, eerie against that. An employer giving you have to pay for a work permit, just like in the U.S. How they have
Okay.
to
Yeah.
pay for a work permit. So they're thinking, why would I pay you to come work this job when I have a pool of people locally that I don't have to pay to get a work permit for?
Okay.
And there's some more exploitation with the pay and stuff like that. But why would I pay you to come work for me when I have,
All these people.
right? So, and when you're going through those agencies, they're going to ask the employer, why did you hire a Jamaican? So you have to think like, you know, we our people need jobs here. Why,
Mhm.
somebody coming from America to work here when they have, you have to think about the
Mhm.
mindset regarding that, right? Because
Okay.
people come to America, Jamaicans come to America and all these other places to work. It's earn income, some of them, right? So why would that the reverse thing is where it gets tricky. So my option was to operate a business. So you could get residency via work permit, and they determine how long they want you to have it.
Mhm.
So they may say you will give you a one for a few months, or we'll give you one for a few years. They
Okay.
determine how long they want to give you
Okay.
their work permit for. So that's another thing. Like I also assisted with that process to better help you get approval, because it is not something that is guaranteed, especially if you don't come there with the right presentation and why are you operating a bit, all that stuff, right? So that
Mhm.
was my process.
What are the requirements for your visa for your what were the requirements for your business to get the visa you got?
Requirements for my business. Oh wow. So I had to do I had to go back home. So when I
Mhm.
was on my tourist visa, once it expired, so I did the tourist visa for the initial 3 months, and then I went and got an extension. All right.
Mhm.
So they will extend your tourist visa for up to 3 months. Again, that's depending how long they want to give it to you.
Mhm.
So I got an additional 3 months, and all during those 6 months, I was figuring out the process, what I need to do, start preparing, and all this other stuff. So when my visa expired, my tourist visa expired, I went home and did all the stuff that I need to do. I had to get fingerprinted. I had to get I'm trying to think of some other. It was a few years. It was a few years ago, but I had to basically go through the process of getting fingerprinted, getting identification notarized, police reports, all this stuff I had to go gather to submit with my documents
Mhm.
and everything else. I had to have a business plan. I had to have a financial projection. I had to have like what the things that you would do to operate a business. But I had to go through some extra steps because I'm not from there. I had to go through an interview process. They had to come. They actually came to check and see that I was actually operating a business. They came to my address I was staying at the time.
Your address in the US?
No, 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 no. While I was
Your
staying
address here
in
while you
Jamaica,
were here.
I had,
Okay.
now don't tell these people this, all right? But I had to I asked one of my friends, like, listen, they coming to because I didn't know, but I was like, can y'all help me? Like, he let me use his space to kind of like just set up shop, basically. Even
Okay.
though I was an actual business, because
Right.
they're still kind of new to the remote, employment thing. They want to see a physical space.
Right. They expect business to look like something, even
Right.
though it could
Like
just be
this,
your laptop from
this
anywhere. Yep.
even though I function primarily online, like I had to.
Okay.
But yeah, so they came to check and see, and I had to go through that process, and then there was like a waiting phase. Had to wait and see if I was got it, wait and see if I was approved, and all of that stuff. So it was that was my immigration process
Okay.
for the most
All right.
part, and they gave me residency. But I will have to go get that renewed at some point. Like, so once it expires, I have to see, do I want to renew that, or, what other options that I have.
Like marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right. Okay. So for your business, did it have to be a business that was based in Jamaica or around Jamaica? It couldn't just be, you couldn't be like running a rum company in Puerto Rico and living in Jamaica.
no, it had to be based in, sitting around Jamaica again, because why are you coming out there? Because they'll
Okay.
pick up on the hustle. Like if you just try to, oh, I'm just trying to come and, they'll pick up on that. So you have to, they want to know, what are you trying to do? How are you going to contribute to the Jamaican
Okay.
economy? I had to say I'm planning on, hiring, people to do this, and I'm planning to, utilize some of the local resources, maybe get export and things like that, which is true. Don't go in there lying. I do have I got there yet? Not yet, but they are going to want to know, how are you going to, what are you coming here for? How are you going to contribute to the economy, to Jamaica? What's your purpose being here? So yeah, I had to You have to have it laid out. I have to have it, everything mapped out. They're gonna ask those type of questions.
Okay. All right. Um, are you seeing people who are, how many people have you seen go through the process of like trying to get a work permit in Jamaica based on, or a visa based on their business? Are you seeing more people be successful or unsuccessful in the process?
So it happens. People do it all the time.
Okay.
But for Black people, this will be new territory for us. Because the Chinese people come here and do it all the time. The Indian people, they come out here, they own all kind of permits, they got all kind of businesses, all kind of operations going. So people are successful with doing it. Now for us, again, that was my option to do. Um, I've worked with a few people who have been successful and gotten through with their work permit. I've consulted some people through the process, um, in which, for the ones that I came across, they've been successful. Um, and again, the other people who aren't, they typically don't ask these type of questions. They just think they can come here and just do it.
Okay.
Um, so for the people who seek the actual guidance, they typically get through, with the right information. They have rejected people, but you just fix whatever the issue is and try it again. Like so. But
Okay. The
they're like,
ladies in the comments are saying it's too much work. They just gonna get married. I said the ladies in the comments said it's too much work. What are you talking about? They gonna go the they don't go the marriage route.
well, yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do, yeah. But again, that could probably be much worse or more work for you in the long run.
That could possibly be, and we should talk about that. We should
Go ahead,
talk about that.
go ahead. But honey, don't come over there, because we're gonna launch a intercultural and international dating platform.
Okay.
Don't come over there crying. We have seen some things. So if you want to do that, baby, you go right ahead. Okay.
We're gonna
But
talk about them things. But before we get there, do you know right now what the minimum wage in Jamaica is?
it's not much. So you know what? Let me do a quick little Google search. So, okay, monthly, I can give you a monthly
Mm-hmm.
estimate. So, monthly was some of the, depending on what type of job you have. So, let's say a U.S. security guard working in Jamaica, they may make around maybe 500 US dollars a month.
Okay.
Um, Police officer, depending on your ranking, I think some of the starting pay is maybe like 700 US dollars a month. Now they can get, depending on the ranks that you get, it's very rank based how much money you make. They could be living very lavishly, living very well. So it depends on those type of settings. Like
Okay.
different sectors pay more, but if you're talking about minimum wage, like some of the payments that people typically associate with Jamaica, that's how much it would be.
Okay.
But it
So
depends.
that's something that we don't talk about often. People say, "Oh, let's get a job when I get there." Pero, do you want to make $500 a month? Do you want to make $700 a month? For for more work than you'd probably do in the US.
These people work long hours too, right? They
Long,
work long hours.
long.
They work long
So,
hours.
yeah.
So
So,
I mean, again, some people come and they try and do it. Some people get through, like, so again, it depends. Some people come and they have some. Sometimes like some countries want people to come from other countries, and depending on what field it is, and those will probably be like more like the corporations and things like that. They
mhm.
want talent from different areas. People do that, but to just think regularly, like you just come plop yourself here, just get a job. I'm just go work at a get a little administrative something, whatever. Right. So people typically now that's the minimum wage, but don't think that people out here are just settling, for that.
Right.
They
Right.
they some hustling folks up out here. All right. You think that they out here, they getting the money. Okay. It's lifestyles of the rich and famous in some of these parts. Please don't get it twisted. I'm out here trying to I don't even know. When I first came and I'm looking around, I'm like, these folks is rich. Like, do not get it twisted. These folks rich. Again,
And
feeling the
that's
way
why
yeah.
whenever like we have these conversations, people are always like, oh, you should go to, if you're going to go to this country, you need to live like a local. And I'm always like, which local? Which local should I be living like? Because in America, we're allowed to have all of these different classes, right? Like no one says if you move to America, you need to live like a local, because in our as Americans, we can imagine that there are a lot of different ways to live like an American. But when we talk about other countries, it's so frequently you should be living like a local, with a caricature of what a local is and how they live in our brains. Oh, well, unless you're living like a local, you're just gentrifying the economy. And I'm like, which local, like point to the local I'm supposed to live like. Point to them. Point them out.
And then I'm like
Because
gentrifying with for me, I'm like, what am I gentrifying with? How we don't have we are constantly talking about the wealth gap and all that other stuff. How are you looking at me talking about gentrifying something? Anyway, that's because I've been
anyway,
called and I'm like, whatever. That's a different conversation
right.
again. But yeah, they please do not get it twisted. There are
Mhm.
Porsches, there are BMW, there are all those things that you would see.
Mhm.
They're here. Okay, these folks they make money, honey. Okay, so don't get it confused. Don't get it
They,
confused.
they make money. But
In the private sector, you will probably get those wages, but you will see most people out here are like self-employed to some extent, or they have like different. What the stereotype is? How many jobs Jamaicans be having? So yeah, they get it. They getting it.
they getting it. But if you're not used to the country, you probably won't start getting it immediately. You're probably gonna be like, need to get a job. I'm here. Can I work on a resort? You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Mm-mm. Okay, so let's talk about the things. What mistakes are you seeing people make? Okay, now first we talked before about the help they need, which is they need they need some guidance and getting used to how things go. What do people think they need when they're coming to Jamaica? What do they think they need help with?
Um, I want to say probably I don't know all this. They think they a lot of times they think they don't need anything. They think they just
Uh-huh.
coming with their American sales or their UK because we got people in there from all over the world. They think they don't need help, or they're wondering why can't I get through so easily with stuff, or they think that they just need somebody to show them. Uh, they think they just need to come to Jamaica, and
Okay.
so they'll ask me things like, "Do you know of any places for rent in Jamaica?" And I'm like, "Where? Like, where are you trying to go?" They just have no like understanding. Like, are you trying to live in Kingston? Are you trying to live in Montego Bay? Are you trying to live in the Grill? Are you trying to be in the hills? Are you trying to be in the rural areas? Like, again, like a lot of them are just coming via tourism and do not understand like the terrain. They think they just need to pop themselves here and then that's it. Like it's just the magic wand is gonna wave. So those are the people who have the hardest time, or they think they don't need help, or they just that's it. They just come and all is well.
Okay. Hey, if you're here and you've never been here before and you like what you're hearing, subscribe to the channel. I'm dropping Clarissa's link to her channel right now, so you can subscribe to her channel as well. hit us up. Every week I'm here talking about moving somewhere. Today it's Jamaica. Tomorrow, next week it's I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. But yeah, subscribe to Clarissa's channel if Jamaica is of interest to you. If living abroad at all is of interest to you, she has some goodies. Let me grab that link. She has some goodies on her website.
So while she's doing that, with all of this experience, I have put together a Move Abroad starter kit to help you start, even just with the basic understanding of what it takes to move to another country. So that is what the starter kit is centered around, because I realize like a lot of people just do not get it. Before you come, all right, before you move anywhere, Jamaica, wherever your heart desires, get the starter kit, all right, so you can start mapping it out. Understand the visa and the residency options, okay? Ain't nobody obligated to have you in a country. You and your American $5 is not gonna come and just change the world, okay? It's not gonna happen. So get the starter kit if you just need deeper understanding of mapping out this process. That's what I have for you. I also offer guidance sessions if you just need to talk to me one-on-one, because people's situations are different. People have different needs. So that's what I have available from Mocha Mazel. And I will also, yeah, I'll talk about that later. I have a bunch of email lists, so.
Okay. If you grab the starter kit.
So start with a starter kit to get started.
Okay, awesome. All right, so it's time for mess. You knew I was gonna do this. You knew I was gonna do this.
Whew, wait.
If y'all are here, we're an hour into it. It's time for the mess.
Woo.
Okay. Woo! All right. What is the messiest shit you've seen? Start there. Of people coming to. Give us the like. If you don't want to tell someone's individual story, you can make it a amalgamation of others.
Where do I start?
Give us the juice.
Okay, so before I start, I want to say that there's not a lot that I've seen in Jamaica that I haven't seen anywhere else. So don't just think this is just Jamaica, but because again, people don't have the understanding and the know-how, and they think they just flop them happy cells somewhere. That's it. All right, you may or may not get eaten alive if you don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
Where do I start? Okay, let's see. So a lot of it we do come across. We had a lot of people in the group who were in there for their relationship purposes, even though we didn't have any dealings with relationships. We eventually created like a separate face, like a subgroup, like for those people. It was mostly women. Women coming there. They were dealing with a Jamaican man. They had met some Jamaican man while they were visiting. They came across a beach bum or something. And again, the know-how isn't there for them to know and understand what they're dealing with. So we had to create a separate group. It is now shut down.
I want to pause you there real quick. You had to start a separate group for all the women who were coming to Jamaica and having relationship problems with the man they just met in Jamaica.
So here's how it happened, because we realized that we were starting to just get a lot of questions in our general group. What does this mean when, they were just asking about men? We was like, yo, this ain't, that gets messy like real quick, because everybody in their opinions come. It just becomes a whole ruckus that we have to like die down. So we was like, let's take this somewhere else. Let's have these conversations somewhere else. It would be one thing to just, kick people out, dismiss it. But I was like, obviously, these are frequent questions that are popping up. Let's just put this somewhere else. All right. Mm-hmm. So we did that experiment. And yeah. If you don't know what you're doing, you may or may not get eaten alive. You need to know what you're doing with, people, period, with men, period. But if you don't know what you're doing, you need to know what you're doing in Jamaica. Okay.
Baby, you talking around it.
You need to
You
know.
talking around it. Give us
Okay.
the mess.
All right. So I don't even know where to start. That's why I'm talking around because it's so many. All right. So we had, okay, let's start with issue number, well, or first scenario number one. We had a young lady. She had met, a Jamaican man online. They were chatting and things. And so, she was like, okay, I'm going to sell my things. I'm coming to, live out there with him in Jamaica. He said I can come live with him. Had never been to Jamaica. Um, yeah. So we had one of those situations, right?
She met a
Um,
man online, sold all her things, and moved to be with him in another country without
yeah.
ever meeting him first.
She had never been to Jamaica.
Okay. And
So,
then what happened?
shortly after she arrived, I think she started to realize, the error of her ways. And she had found herself in a group now. I think she was in, I don't remember where she was. There was the man she was talking to lived in the bush. Now, the bush if you have, it's the hills and, valleys of Jamaica. It's like the rural areas. It's like where the, country people live. Like,
Mhm.
it's not Montego Bay. It's not Kingston. Like,
It's
it's
some city, some city.
you in
It's
the
outside of some city you've never heard of.
the tropical jungle
Uh-huh.
in Jamaica. So that's where he lived. Now, luckily, one of my business partners, the lady that I worked with initially, she's been in Jamaica for a long time. She knows, she's familiar with Jamaica in the different areas. But anyway, back to that. She came out here to move with the man. Um, and it went south real quick because, for one, that man was like expecting her financial support because she was a foreign, right? He was like, "Why am I having to work if I have a foreign here with me now?" Okay.
He
And
was working before.
she did not know where she was. Again, not only was she in a country she wasn't familiar with, she was in the bush, right? Where it's not as easily navigatable. So she did not know where she was. I mean, she knew the area, but she did not know where she was, right? So she would have limited internet access. They would stay, constantly fighting because he didn't want her to talk to no other man. He didn't want no other man come get his foreign woman. It was just like a whole mess, right? So she sent a message. I think she had somebody. So we have. I think she connected with somebody else who was in our group. I don't think she had internet access, but I think she texted somebody who was in our group
Hmm.
for help, and they then reached out to us and said, she's stuck, she's trapped. Can somebody go help her? She need help. We have to go on a rescue mission and go rescue this woman from the bush. We had to go find her. Now she had general, key points that she was able to, tell us identifiable things. And again, luckily, the other lady had been here a long time, and she was able to locate her. We had to go on a rescue mission and collect this young woman. And then she came and stayed with me at Kingston for a night, and then we returned to send her. We sent her back to America the next day.
I'm laughing, but it's terrible. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's like, oh shit, this is scary. Like she was. If you know the bush in Jamaica, you know you can't walk. Depending on where you are, you can't walk out of there.
You need to know where you're going. You need to know what you're doing, right? Um, yeah, but after we got her and we was talking, she was like, outside of the experience, she loved Jamaica, right? She was like, I do want to come back out here and live. And that was make the man the last part of your journey. Okay. Come to Jamaica
A
for Jamaica.
word.
Jamaica is itself,
A word.
Jamaica is a vibe by itself.
Yes.
Make that the last thing you need to be doing when you move to a new
Make
country is
make the man the last part of your journey. Yes, not the first part. Now you picked up and moved from man you met online.
yourself positioned and situated first. All
Okay.
that will come after. Um, but she loved Jamaica. That's typically even when they do come for the man, they still fall in love with Jamaica. But
Okay.
just know what you're doing. All right. Your first task at hand is to have ears, eyes open. You are observing. You need to figure out how they interact with each other locally,
Yes.
right? You need to see, because if you are here, you observing, you're not gonna see a Jamaican man ask a Jamaican woman for those type of things that they are requested from somebody they think is more well off because they come from America, right?
Okay.
They're not gonna have. They have a very kind of traditional, like the man takes care of the woman, that type of deal going on for the most part. Not to say that's all great and dandy, but relationship structure wise, that's how it would typically go. So if you are instantly being requested and asked for things, just know that's a red flag. That man has expectations of you because you are coming from the US. All right. Cross that, make that the last part of your mission.
Shauna said not the last. She
Make
wants it to be somewhere in the middle. But okay, so I think it's fine if it's in the middle when you're already in the country, right? And you have some context.
I wouldn't
But
say
you're
not
selling everything to move to a country?
be familiar with, you don't have to be the last, but you at least you need to have some type of uh knowledge, all right, in
Mhm.
regards to, just again, like the customs and the social structure, things like that. You need to know, like, you need to be familiar with, so you can either integrate into it or you maneuver around it. I don't know, whatever you decide, but you need to know what you're dealing with, all right? So that's my advice.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's back up a second.
Mm-hmm.
You see, someone here was in the group, but so from the group and from your experience, you've seen a lot of women coming to Jamaica, either once to live there or repeatedly for men.
So yes, we saw a lot. So again, we are Black expats when we pass in Jamaica. We are under the assumption that people are understanding that we are for people who want to live here long term.
Right?
But again, because it's Jamaica, people have the other reasons for coming in there. So some of them were coming in there for me, and they had no intention on living in Jamaica.
Okay.
But because they are dealing with someone who is of Jamaicanness, all right, they found their way to that group. So, oh gosh, there's so many of them.
Do you see more? It was Radiance Walker said that relationship group is very interesting. Do you have you seen? This is not. I want your opinion on what you would do with your life. This is not a judgment on all of Jamaica or Jamaican men or anything like this. This is just you on your life. Based on what you've seen in the group, would you enter into a relationship with a Jamaican man, even if it's not, I'm selling all the things and moving here? Would you enter into a relationship online or in your first visit? You
No,
haven't seen enough positive stories. That's my question is like, have you seen enough positive outcomes that you're like, it's a toss up. It could go well.
not with that process. Not with that process,
Okay.
because, well, I don't. I try to avoid online stuff anyway, but
Hmm.
you don't have enough, again, know-how. You don't know what to look out for, because here's the thing with Jamaican men, right? They are professional love bombers, right? So you may not be experienced, you may not be familiar with all, somebody just coming at you all with all they prowess. You may not be experienced with that, so that might be you head over heels, right? If you don't know what you're doing, okay,
Hmm.
it could be. I would not recommend it online, and I would not recommend it when you first get here. I
Okay.
recommend if you do meet somebody you think has potential, I implore you to cultivate that relationship. Do not rush into it. Let's just give it time. Right. I advise this for anybody anywhere, right? But especially out here because so they can be so front presenting as these like, lovey, lover man, all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right. Take your time. You can collect the men when you first get here as you're going along, but don't like make it like I got them. That's it. Just give it time, pace it out, let it reveal itself over time. Because I always give it when anytime I meet a man, I will talk with him, but I don't like get like super invested until maybe like a month or so because they always going to because they super boasty. They show and they post everything on WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a few weeks, you might see a brand new baby. He posted a brand new baby, fresh out the vajayjay baby. Fresh out the vajayjay baby. You may see it posted. You may see his wedding pictures. He just got married last week. You may see that.
So these are like men you've met, and within a month, you see in babies, you see in wedding photos.
Just give it anytime you meet somebody, just give it some time. All right, just let them. Now I haven't really been approached with somebody asking me for money or anything like that situation. And that's another thing. So outside of a tourist area, they are you want to go somewhere where they look like it's not like they're waiting for you to come off the boat, right? So when they approach you outside of those areas, they're still in like impressing mode. Like they're not like, what's up, foreign woman, let me come to your room or whatever they be doing out there, right? You'll have less opportunity with that. But like I said, collect them. It's a numbers game. You're gonna find some decent ones, but collect them, give it some time. You'll see what's what. Okay. Give it some time so you can see what they
Okay.
but see if you don't know what you're doing and you just encounter one at at first glance and he come at you with all that all that Jamaicanness, whatever, all that Mr. Lover, and you ain't never experienced, you're taken aback, you may or may not get eaten alive.
Okay.
um yeah.
Now we talked about this separately earlier, and we talked about like there have been some negative outcomes. Like some women, at least one woman has died.
Yes.
Right. So like it's
Really,
ha ha funny until it's not.
yes, I really need for women to quit playing with this. And we got like a lot of, even when trying to just tell, the women in the group what not to do, so at the very least they don't die, it would be such, they didn't want to hear it, right? So this, if you ain't got good sense, please make that your last thing because they're not hearing it, right? Some people have died.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have had, and um there was one young lady. She was living in the UK. I think she is of Jamaican heritage. She had been coming back and forth. She had been talking to some man had known since grade school. So she was Jamaican, left Jamaica for the UK. She had been knowing him for a good part of her life, right? I guess they started, I don't know how that happened, how that transpired. They started, getting with each other, or I guess they decided they was in a relationship. Something happened. I think he had children out here with another woman. I think he had got pregnant again, the woman he was having kids with. So she wanted to come out here and get closure because she was living in the UK, but she had been flying back and forth to see him, taking care of him and his mother. Okay. So I guess something happened. He had a baby with somebody else. She wanted to come out here and get closure. She did not leave Jamaica. So she came out here. He poisoned her, took all the money out of her bank account. I don't know if I don't know what the updated situation is yet, but she's no longer with us. And that's the thing, is like we would tell, these women, to at least be more sensical. But some of them just was not.
Here.
So you probably have to that among other things is why we shut it down, because And then they would kind of look at us like we were there to, just say they could come out here and do whatever they want, and then we would just be able to drop everything and come, save them,
Rescue them. Yeah.
trying to tell them what to do. So that had to go away. But we are going to do something in that magnitude on a much better structured platform and much more thoroughly laid out with the rules and the regulations and all that stuff. But yes, I really need for people to understand what they're dealing with. All right. These men are not handicapped. Jamaican men are not handicapped. Okay. They was fully functioning, eating, living, breathing before they came in contact with you. Okay. They was not struggling or at least not able to sustain themselves. Please be smart. If that's the route you want to go, you just want to hop here and get married. Okay. I don't know. Good luck to you. Good luck to you and that man. All right. That's it.
Is it fair to say that if
Oh,
it's men,
I'm sorry. I got one more. There's a girl, right? She's in jail right now in Jamaica. I don't. What was her situation? It was involving with them. She was involved with a man. All right. Um, they got into some legal issues stuff. She's in jail here and can't get really help like that. I don't think because she's locked inside. It's not a laughing matter. Again, I mean, I don't know. That's up to you. I wouldn't recommend it. All right.
what is she in jail for? Do you know?
Something dealing with drugs. See, dealing with drugs.
Got caught up with a man?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is like how so many Black women end up in prison.
Yeah.
They left holding the bag
You're right.
or the gun. Or you know what I mean? Like it's always woo. Okay. Um so you're there and you're seeing the real like everyone has this like, we say Jamaica, people think Stella, right? People think get your groove back.
That's
But
what
you're
they
seeing the actual downside of it and seeing how it's negatively impacting women's lives.
So yeah, that's why it's so important to understand the cultural dynamics like of where you're coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very important to know how they function and operate in their society. Um, and maybe some few they come and get their Jamaican man, they take him back to the United States. I don't know. Maybe they had that plan to begin with. It works out for them. They want to collect their Jamaican man and they, go back to the States and they're married, they're fine, they're doing whatever. But that is the exception to the rule. Like it's not, we see that maybe
Right.
like a few times as opposed to what actually happens. And so use your sense. And so, like I said, these the same. Okay, this is how I equate it. So, if you ever seen a gas station bum, all right, in the U.S., think of them as the same. If you see a beach bum or some man that's laying hanging around on the beach, that's the equivalent to a gas station bum or a man who ain't, he just there seeing what he can grab and can collect. It's the same. That's how you need to identify. Does he look like a functioning member of his society, or does he look like he has, employment, those type of things? That's what you want to be looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's where I think we get to a little more nuanced conversation. I've heard the story. We have talked. I have heard the stories. There's a lot of mess she ain't mentioned here, y'all. There's a lot of mess we don't have time to get into. But a lot of women want to date wherever they're going. Not like they're going somewhere with the intention of dating, but they don't want to go somewhere where the door is closed. So how have you navigated dating in an area where you see so many women frequently getting taken advantage of?
Well, see, that's why this is what, again, the differentiating factor has been. I had never been, most of the women who come through there and they come through via tourism. They came here on a trip, they met somebody, they have not lived in Jamaica. Whereas like I lived here, I'm like on the ground. I'm not in a tourist area. So that's a whole different type of Jamaican man that they are encountering in
Okay.
itself. So that's the difference. And so even it's like, yo, like you have to vet them, and if you do, go that route. I don't know. That's the difference that I've seen. And it's like they just do. That's such a big disconnect with coming somewhere as a tourist and like actually living there. That's not translating. Initially it wasn't. Now we know, what it is and how to recognize it and what to look out for. But initially, no, I was like, what in the world is going on? Like, I don't know what's happening. And at least try to tell them how to be safe. They still not hearing it,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
So
But you were able to sit on the ground and watch what happened long enough to get a
like
good idea of what's
don't
going.
have those I don't have those same interactions, right? That's why I'm
Okay.
trying to, like, because I live like locally and I
Okay.
locally, yeah, right? Like I would, it's like you living anywhere else. Like you just living there locally and you see the dynamics, right?
Okay.
Um
So I think what I'm picking up from this is when you go to Jamaica and you're on the beach for your cruise, your 1 week vacation, the bachelorette party, whatever, that man you meet, don't try to make him your husband. The man you meet on the beach there, don't try to make him your husband. And if he starts asking you for money, make him your past. Make him
and
your
when you're living here, if you're actually living here, you still need to go through the vetting process.
yes.
But I see initially, like with those women who have no clue, like on what, on living in Jamaica, they just come this, they just get, I don't know what's the word, they just get, I don't know, vacation brain, I don't know,
Mhm.
like they just not in they senses, right? That is where I see like them having those issues. They are just that. I'm like, and they was like, yo, don't, please don't, do that. Don't, Jamaican men do not to say that they don't, because I mean, yeah, but on average, typically, not to now that's all just dealing, even dealing with them like living here locally. That's also another conversation. But at the very least, if you just come here for a short period, you interact, you come across somebody, just give us some time, please. Like, don't, just give us some time. Just give us some time. Vet, 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 vet. That's my advice to you.
Okay. And you're doing that. And how have your dating prospects been? Getting in your business.
Okay, now we get into outside of the tourist areas. All right, here are the types of Jamaican men that I typically encounter. Okay, I'm in Kingston. All right, so that's probably where most of the money resides in Jamaica. I would say outside of Montego Bay, so they have more wealth here. They have more money to throw around, and they have more advantages. With women. So I call them city boys, but they would be the equivalent to just the male whore, just super, cocky and
Mhm.
child, whatever, those types. Um, and you have the beach bums, or you have the bums. Period. Now the bums are here too. They outside of the tourist areas, but again, like they're more identifiable, and laying up on the beach, you just don't really get to see the other parts of Jamaica, so you probably won't know what all is out here. But you have those. You have the cool ones, like the country, like the rural men who are more like laid back, and they're not as they're more like that. They just the cool man. I And then you have those who are just super like abrasive. They ain't got no filter. They don't care. They So those are the type of men that I typically encounter. I get approached a lot by a lot of servicemen, like the ones who be in uniforms and stuff. That's how I
Okay.
get approached by with the most. Um, but again, they too can be, because they look like they got a good job, or they, in Jamaica they may have a good job. They have their slew of options they can pick from. So that's why I say just give it time. Don't rush it. Some gonna stick eventually, but don't. Just let it. Just see what that WhatsApp status gonna post in a few weeks.
I feel like you here in this interview trying to be slick and not trying to give up your business.
What you want to know?
And
What?
that's have you had any dating prospects that
Yeah.
were positive and felt like they could go the long, like even if it didn't work out, but like you felt it wasn't because like he was trying to scam you. Like it just didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like positive long-term dating prospects. Do you feel like this is a place where if you come, you can actually date a man if you put the work in? If you come, you learn the culture, you can
So
date
I'm dating
regularly.
someone. And again, this has not been. It wasn't like an initial like wham bam boom type thing. Like, and so far so good, right? But
Mhm.
we're gonna see. I'm trying. Y'all put good energy in the air that I can get my marriage visa. I want my papers, but I want them the right way. Like I want them, but I want it the right way. So let's have. He's been a good dating experience. Again, there were some cultural things that I had to get acquainted with. He had to get acquainted with me. Um, in Jamaican men, they can be so boasty, and you gotta like as soon as they do that, you gotta tap it. Like you gotta anything that's not like you don't like, you have to address it instantly. Do not let
Okay.
them pass. Right? Don't let nothing pass ever. So like getting through that phase, he's learned now.
Okay.
So I had to have like a kind of moments where it's like I'm not dealing with it. And so he probably is likely has not encountered that before. Like, and they have conversations about American women just like we be sitting here talking about them. They don't know what to do with us, right? Because a lot of the times they not used to that, type of dynamic. They calling their cousins in America. Well, how do I talk to her? How do I do this? And so, but I'm saying whatever it is, you have to address it. Like don't let anything, and again, this is with any man, but especially because they're not accustomed, well, it's getting there, but they're not used to taking women seriously because like the dynamics that have been out here is still very much. Ooh, I'm sweating. Look at you. Got me up here sweating. The
Mhm.
dynamics are still very like traditional. Like so um they're not used to, they're not to say Jamaican women are not weak or anything like that, but it's like as far as like systematically wise, because they do still kind of traditionally rely on the men like for income. So they have that advantage, for the ones who are in that mind frame. But it's the same. They call in trying to figure out how to deal with us too. What does this look like? I don't know how do I talk to her? So
Mhm.
you have to be your discernment needs to be at an all time high, and you got to be 20 toes down because they're gonna call your bluff. They're gonna call your bluff about 15 times because they're not again maybe may not be accustomed to women being like super vocal. Not to say that Jamaican women are weak, but in regards to relationship wise, they may not be accustomed to it. So um so far it's been, you have to set your boundaries and all those things. But now we're in a better place. I'm hoping, things happen, but if not, I'll just do what I do and I'll go collect some more. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Now, some of my horror stories. Um, I don't have too many because anything that I see, I kind of like just stop talking to them initially. I don't have patience with
You
men.
cut it off real quick.
So yeah, so that if it's a horror story, it may just be like an interaction, and then I ain't heard from him no more. I had one trying to run some, he tried to run one of those woe is me stories. Like I'm just so hungry. I ain't got, I ain't got this, I ain't got that. And I just be like, me either. I don't have it. Like And so a lot of women say that, when you come, they see dollar signs. You do the same. I'm like, I'm looking for the dollar signs too. That's how you got, if they, are approaching you with that, just shut it down and they won't do it again. Likely.
Mhm.
Like, they're just trying to test and see, like,
Right.
what they can do or what you'll allow them to get away with. So the first test, you pass the test and you don't allow it. That's
Hmm.
my thing.
Hmm. Okay,
Yes.
so Laverne, I actually want to address Laverne's comment because it's something I see frequently from people, especially people who are from the country we're talking about. So I live in Mexico and I hear a lot like, why are you saying negative things about Mexico? But I'm someone who actually lives there. Clarice actually lives in Jamaica. And I know I've never met a Jamaican that didn't have something negative to say about Jamaica, right? I have never met anyone who is from Jamaica who hasn't had at least one negative. Not that like it's a trash country, right? And like, why would anyone go there? But like, I don't like the way this happens. And I feel like we have to allow immigrants the same space to say, these are things I don't like about operating in this country, or these are things I don't like about the way I'm received in the country. When we live in places, we don't move there thinking it's going to be a perfect situation, right? We're not expecting that. But also, while we're here talking about a place, we can't pretend it's perfect. It's not fair. It's not fair to anyone to pretend that it's perfect and not say, while we're here talking about the good stuff, let's talk about some of the bad stuff as well, right? Let's talk about the
And
things
how to
that are
navigate
making
that stuff.
life
That's
difficult.
another thing. Like, how to navigate it. And I'm not, again, like I said, there's nothing out here that I have not seen anywhere else.
Right.
Ain't nothing in Jamaica. As much as people want to say Jamaica, ain't nothing out here I ain't seen nowhere else. How to navigate it is the next part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are coming across these type of men, people, whatever, here's how to navigate it. Like, that don't mean you gotta run, leave it, oh, Jamaica. You ain't gotta go Ray Tay Tay about how bad Jamaica is, how this and this. How do you navigate it? Like, how
Right.
do you maneuver, right?
Right.
So that's how that goes. I love Jamaica. Like a child, these folks ain't getting rid of me. I don't care.
That's your place now, right? That's your place. You're not moving anytime soon.
I'm not going nowhere. But here's how to better prepare yourself. Okay. So you don't have, out of body experience.
Mhm.
Unless you want to. I don't know.
I mean, Larissa was telling me stories, and some of y'all are going to Jamaica and losing all your common sense. Y'all left your common sense in your luggage in the room in the resort, and you out there in the bush with all kinds of men doing all kinds of stuff. Just silly.
But
Just like
outside of that, it's a lovely place. But yeah, go
it's a
ahead.
lovely place. It's a lovely place. Y'all just not doing like and this isn't a critique of Jamaica. It's really a critique. It's both. It's a critique of the Jamaican men, and we haven't gotten to the women, the switching it around, because we're not going to do that. I don't. I don't really care how Jamaican men treat them. Oh, how Jamaican women treat American men. That's not my business. I'm here to talk. I'm here to talk to women who are moving to Jamaica. So I think it's interesting that there's. I mean, two sides are at. I always say this: like, if I'm never going to try, I'm never going to try someone who's really good at the opposite thing of what I'm doing. Like, if I don't know how to deal blackjack, right? I'm not going to be out here sitting across the table trying to deal to someone who is a champion, some kind of expert, right? Because I'm always going to lose because they have more time and effort and energy putting in their game than I have putting in mine. And I feel like that about being hustled in Jamaica as a woman, right? As a woman, if you're being hustled for money in Jamaica, you probably have less experience getting hustled than they do, but the hustler does hustling women. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. They are an expert. If this man is, I'm not saying they're all doing that, but I'm saying if you are dealing with a man who is asking you for money in Jamaica, in anywhere in the world, truly, anywhere, he is more used to asking women for money than you are being asked for money, right? You were not used to men walking up to you every day and being like, let me get inside your purse. That man is walking up to women every day and being like, hey, baby, what you got for me? And so like it's all you're always going to lose that game. This is my life theory about a lot of things. A lot. I feel like this about a lot of things. If you are an expert at your game and I am not, I am playing that game with you. Like what are we doing? I'm not doing that.
That's when I run, baby. Like, what are you doing? Like, what does this mean when he asked me to do? I mean, that means run. That means go find somebody else to talk to.
So that's what they're asking you in the group. What does it mean when he asks me to bring stuff or buy things?
What do y'all think about this? And what is he? Does he just want me for this and that? I'm like, that means no. And they'll have their list prepared. That's what I'm saying. Like, stay. I don't know. I advise to stay off of those tourist areas. Romantic wise. Mm-hmm. If you're a unicorn and it worked out for you, beautiful. But they be having a list. They had a list ready of things they want.
Stuff they want. Is that what's on the list?
Yeah, they with shoes with brand.
What, like detail list, like brands?
Yes, I want this exact. Yes. And that mean, and they ask that when the women come asking what that mean, that's what he's been doing.
You're not the first person who has seen the list.
He's prepared and he's ready.
Okay. I think we should move on, but first, I know you told me a story. I hope this wasn't a secret of someone who showed up to the airport with things from a list. Can we talk about that?
Yes. I'm so sorry if you're watching, but I got to tell this story. And another young lady, she had visited, met someone, she had a good old grand time. Really don't know. We also have a lot of women coming, I want to say kind of it being like escapism. Like they're trying to, run from other things or thinking that, again, Jamaica is magical. It's a paradise, but that's not. If you have eternal things going on, you may want to deal with that first to fully enjoy your experience. So I think she kind of had one of those situations. It was like an escapism type situation. Met somebody, had a good old grand time. And then, I guess she was under the impression that they were together. They were in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So they're talking. I think a few months later, she flew back down because she wanted to see him, wanted to meet with him. She brought items. I don't know if they're requested or she just got them being nice or whatever. Anyway, she arrived at the airport with the things to give the man. The man came to collect the things from the airport and he left her there and rode off with the other woman that was in the car.
She thought she was coming to Jamaica to spend time with her man. And he pulled up to the airport with another woman?
Yes, and collected his items and went on about his way.
And so her vacation in Jamaica was ruined before she left the airport?
I mean, I think she still had like a room and all that stuff, because she came. They booked the tickets, they booked the the lodging and the accommodations and all this stuff. So everything was covered. She paid for everything. I don't really think he had maybe just like a ride from the airport was all she needed, and
he didn't even give her the ride from the airport. He couldn't even come to the airport without another woman in the car. Like, that's the disrespect. That's wild.
So
that's absolutely wild. Like, okay, so this might be your person, and I'm sorry, but why is she giving those gifts?
That's I honestly so this is why, again, you need to, because people are under the impression that Jamaicans are poor, they they don't have things. You need to come with your savior complex and just come save the peoples. They are under the impression that they're asking that maybe they don't have it, or I need to give it. That something kicks in, right? Or they're thinking that, oh, I like him. Let me show him I like him, or let me bring him things to, some of them come up with the impression that they are buying love, or but it may not seem as direct, but essentially it's like, I'm coming with gifts. This is what I have to offer you outside of myself. So I don't know. It's a myriad of things that will be the baseline of this. But yeah, they'll, I don't know. Again and again, this is the thing. Like I said, if you are not experienced with the Mr. Lover Lover, the Mr. Jamaican man, he's telling you all this stuff. He's talking. He's cultivating you and your senses. Professional love bomber, right? Like you thinking, if you don't know what you're doing, you may get taken for a ride. So that's what I'm saying. So why they're bringing
Wow.
up things, why they feel obligated to do so, I don't know. But again, there's a myriad of things that's likely happening, and all it takes is for him to talk that Jamaican man talk, and that's it. So,
I can't. I'm tired. I'm tired. Like, okay. We're gonna stop talking about the men. I told y'all it was messy though. Messy.
yeah, I
All
see
right.
this company. Men can smell different. That's what, yo, like it's like they got a sixth sense. They can tell, they can identify those type of women like that, like really quickly. So that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Be on your P's and Q's. Take
They're
time.
better at hustling than you are at being hustled.
They know what they're doing.
They
They
know what they're
know what
doing.
they're doing.
It's not, and it's not that if this man is asking you for stuff, it's not his first time. This is what he does. That's not your future husband. It's not. That's everybody's man. If he's asking you for things, what? Didn't you call one of them a prostitute? Sorry.
I said, when they testing you with stuff like that, you test them back. I was like, and not to say that's a thing. That's also a thing. Like they
Mhm.
have like those rent a dreads, and let them get their reparations off somebody else. All right, that ain't got to
Not
be
me.
you.
Not me. Not me.
I mean, but I asked somebody the one time, or maybe one or two times I got approached, that I asked, "Are you a prostitute?" Like I just asked them like blindly like that. Like I'm just dumbfounded. I know what he's doing. He think I don't know what he's doing, but you got to manipulate the manipulation. Like, oh, is that what you're doing? Like, they shut down real quick. Oh no, I'm married. They so hyper masculine and effeminate. So you gotta learn a prostitute. I'm like, but technically you are, but they don't
You're
want
asking me. You're
they
acting like
to kick in real quick. Then like, oh man,
that.
let's go. Let me take you out to dinner. Like, girl, there you go. That's like, listen, that's what you do. Manipulate with manipulation.
Woo. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get back. A couple. The question has come up a couple times. How do Jamaican women respond to U.S. women? Have you been able to make friends easily with local women?
So I might not be a good person for this because I typically am kind of antisocial.
Okay.
But the interactions that I do have with them are like kind of like average, like typical. I haven't had like, you know, um, I haven't had like super negative experiences. Um, have I come across? I may have. I don't want to make this like a Jamaican woman thing. I do have like I come across like jealousy sometimes from women, unfortunately. So have I encountered that? Somebody may make a comment or whatever. I don't be caring. So again, if you're somebody who like super reliant on people, and I don't know, but I really don't be caring. But I've never had like I haven't had a negative encounter to say this and that. Anytime, like sometimes, like if I need help, I was running an Airbnb out of my space, so I would have like sometimes I would have some women come help me clean. We would laugh, talk, joke. They would tell me about Jamaican men. They would tell you. That's another. They would tell you what to look out for. And just general conversation. There's nothing never like negative or I'm like they don't like the
Okay.
Jamaican women don't like black American. I ain't never had that.
Okay. All right. Let's talk. Another question came up. Let's talk healthcare. Have you had healthcare experiences in Jamaica?
Yes. So healthcare in Jamaica is kind of hit or miss. They do have private doctors that are not expensive, but they have private doctors. So Jamaica, I think Jamaica has some. I don't know if it's a free healthcare, but they have some type of healthcare that is like accessible to like everybody. They can just go to the doctor at the very least. Um, that might not be a good experience. Sometimes the hospitals are run down. Sometimes it's super crowded. People need help. I have not had that many health issues or whatever. And again, maybe because I'm in Jamaica, I've had more health issues in the U.S. since I've been out here. I haven't really dealt with too many health issues.
Okay.
But when I do, I will go to like a private doctor, or if it's something I'm getting a checkup, just go to a private doctor. It's not that expensive. Um, or you can get. I just got like some Nomad health insurance that I'm paying for. It's medical and travel insurance. But the healthcare, they have some. I want to say my experience so far has been well. Depending on where you are, I'm in Kingston. So if you somewhere out like, in rural areas or where they may not have like much access to, things, hospitals or whatever, that might be a different experience. So it's kind of like depends on where you are, depends on which type of doctor you're going to and what you need, and it depends.
Hmm. Okay. You said the healthcare hasn't been that expensive. Can you give us like some numbers maybe for a checkup?
Um, I think I went to a private doctor. Sometime maybe like mid last year. I think it was like now this was just like a general like something simple. Don't quote me on this. I don't know how much surgical procedures cost. Don't come thinking you're gonna get
Hmm.
uh a whole surgery something. But I think like it was I want to say maybe like 40, 50 US dollars.
Okay.
That was for the appointment and like medicine and all the stuff that I needed. And that was just like, that was for everything for the visit. I didn't have health insurance at the time, but it didn't set me back too much to where I couldn't go.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So you're fine. I know you have insurance now, but do you feel like even if you didn't have insurance, you'd still be okay with healthcare?
If it's nothing major, I would say yeah. If it's like if you are somebody who's like, and again, it depends on what type of healthcare you need. Some people have like conditions that are more like
Hmm.
extreme. So you would have to research, like, if they have doctors with that specialty here. Um, you would have to research extensively. Just general healthcare checkups, doctor visits, things like that have not been that expensive.
Okay. Um, how was the quality of the healthcare? Did you feel like it was good?
Yes, I've had very good experiences with the doctors, and they've all been black. Uh, but again, I've been going to private doctors. Everybody's experience may not be the same, especially if you go into like the public hospitals. I don't know, but so far my experiences have been good. They've been super helpful. I've had much better experiences that I have in America, but again, I was from Mississippi, and it's basically non-existent. Healthcare is there, but it ain't there. So um, again, I had much better care out here than I did where I'm from. Again, I know this differs. Some people have made better experiences depending on where you live in the U.S., but where I'm from, no.
Okay. If you Can anyone who is got their feet on the island go to a public hospital? Or do you need to be a resident or a citizen?
I think you can go. I think anybody can go to a public hospital. Is
Okay.
that your best bet? I don't know, but you can go.
Okay. All right. So even if you don't have insurance and you don't have any money, you can get healthcare. It may not be the healthcare you want. It
Right.
may not be like if you had to draw your own hospital, it might not be what it would look like, but you can get healthcare. Okay. All right. Um, what are our other questions? What haven't we talked about that you want to talk about? What haven't we mentioned?
Ah, I don't know. We'd have been here, there, and everywhere. I think. I don't know. I don't know. So my platform, Mokumazelle, Black Expats and Repats in Jamaica, is my service. Me and my business partners, we do to help people with that process. We have just launched an online community. If you would like to join, if you are planning on coming and living in Jamaica, we have a membership community that we have just launched. But I think that pretty much, yeah, I gave y'all a whole lot.
You did. You did. Okay. So some more questions. Bum, bum, bum. Let's talk about banking. What's the banking situation like there?
Ooh, well, as of late, you've probably heard the news. Usain Bolt got.
Oh, yes.
I think some other people have got. So
And got by people who worked at the banking
yeah,
institute or be at, was you saying bank or was it like an investment company?
I think it was an investment company,
Okay.
but it still happens with some of the banks and stuff out here. Like the people who work there, some of them have been going to jail as of late for embezzling money and stealing money and things like that. So that's become a rising issue. I have bank accounts out here, but I don't have much, and not because I'm scared. I just don't have much put in them. But I do. I still I do my transactions with my U.S. bank
Hmm.
still, because a lot of places out here, well, in Kingston, have card systems and stuff like that. So, but I do still, because, at some point, because I plan on living here, I want to have relationships with banks. I might want to, buy a house soon. I might want to buy, you still need that if you're not paying with stuff in cash.
Hmm.
But it can be difficult for people who do not live here and do not have residency or do not have, anything identifying them to the Jamaican system to get banking. Again, because they don't know you. Who are you? Where you coming from? Especially, with them trying to crack down on certain, issues. You will have to, you will have to go through additional steps, documentation to open up a bank account. So,
Okay.
but so far, I know it's gonna be a while, getting set up. When I first was getting a bank account, I was there all day. Bring snacks, okay? Bring snacks, bring entertainment,
Hmm.
banking, tax office, anything that brings snacks, bring entertainment, because you'll be there for a very long time. Sometimes it's smoother, sometimes it's not. Depends.
Okay.
So, but I don't have many banking issues often.
Okay. That's helpful. Bum, bum, bum. And besides opening the bank, like, okay, so like in Mexico City, if there's a bank, there's a line. 9 times out of 10, there's a line down the block to get inside the bank. Do you have any issues like that there? You
Yeah.
do?
Oh yeah, you're gonna have some lines. You're gonna
Okay.
have some lines. Um, but like I try to avoid them if possible. And luckily, like where I am, like they have like different ATMs in the area. If I need to access anything, like they have different ATM points. But expect if you go into like the actual branch, expect there to be a line,
Okay.
long one or medium to long line. Yeah.
Okay. How have you, I know you don't be messing with a lot of people, but how have you built community there? And
Uh,
what's the experience been like building community?
So I built the online community.
Mhm.
That's been the community factor. But I think like just living somewhere naturally, like it'll start like people recognize me, they knew who I am. They may not know where I'm from. They may not know I'm not Jamaican. But they know me or they recognize me and they say, hey, they'll speak. When I you know what? When I leave, they be so mad because they don't know. Like anytime they see my absence for a period of time, I get fussed at because they thought I didn't left, I didn't move, I ain't said nothing. They're like, where you been? We ain't seen you. We thought something happened. So you have like that general friendly neighbor stuff like that.
Mhm.
But for the people, do I have the people that are here in Jamaica? Again, we built community through like we'll link up, we'll spend a weekend somewhere, have gatherings. We'll link up from time to time, with other expats. And again, these people are from all over the world. They're not just from the U.S. Some of them are they're repats. They're coming back. They're looking for that community, not, and it's not to like isolate, themselves from, Jamaica and everybody else, but I just want doing day to day stuff. I have people I can call if I need help. Um, I don't like go seeking out like I need people to hang out with. I'll go somewhere from time to time and just enjoy my company, but it's not like a something that I'm super pressed about.
Okay. Um, Alicia has a great question. How has your life changed since moving there?
I want to say my stress levels have reduced significantly.
Hmm.
Um, it's very, I have a very much more ease of living. Um, it's not so like hustle and bustle, like move, 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 quick, quick, quick. I get to just relax. Not all the time, but it's not, I'm not constantly like stressed, pressed, all this other stuff that we typically deal with in the US. Not really dealing with that out here. Um, it's given me the opportunity, not living like that has given me the opportunity to actually like take a step back, analyze what it is that I actually want out of life and how to structure and make moves towards that. Um, I have a much clearer sense of self and again what I want to do and what I just like to enjoy. So I want that's how that just overall structurally everything that's how my life has changed. Like I get to exist, I get to do what I want to do. When I feel like doing it, that's what I wanted and that's what I got.
Okay. So stress level reduced. You're living the life you want to live. You're hanging out with your taxi drivers. On a regular day, what are you eating? Let's talk about the food.
Ooh. All right. So when I do venture out to eat, all right,
Hmm.
typically I will do I can saltfish for breakfast with some yam and some plantain and some callaloo or cabbage and fried dumpling.
Hmm.
Uh, they have like a lot of like cook shops everywhere. I may go down the road, get some curry. They got curry chicken, curry goat with the roti. Um, from these Trinidadians down the road. Um, I find myself, let's see, I try and stick, yeah, like they have like a lot of, healthy options and not, they have all the stuff. Well, in Kingston, typically you'll see a lot of the US restaurants here, fast food joints in a way, everything except McDonald's, I think. Um, you'll find them here. So on average, I'll probably eat, just like local, what's around. or I'll just go to the grocery store and just do my little dealings. I'm an air fryer junkie, so I like throwing stuff in the air fryer and be done. So I'm not doing a whole lot of cooking. But that's my food process.
Question for you. As an immigrant, I understand the importance of this question. A lot of folks might not. Let's talk about this. Did you buy your air fryer there or did you have to bring it with you?
Um, they have air fryers here, but they didn't have the kind that I wanted. So
Okay.
I brought it with me on one of my more recent trips.
Okay.
So initially, um, oh, the first one I got an updated one because I
Hmm.
wanted like the oven style type one. I didn't see
Hmm.
that here. They have them. They have all this stuff here. But they didn't. I didn't have the kind that I wanted, so I brought it over on one of my recent trips. Or I think I saw it on sale or something, and I grabbed it. Or I had a discount. That's what I got. But I had one, but I saw the better one, and that's how I got it. Yeah. But you can get an air fryer. You can get. They got all the appliances in Kingston. I'm speaking specifically to Kingston because I don't know what they be. I don't know what they got anywhere else. But they have like the big they have like their version like a Costco's. They have like a them like Sam's Club. I think it's Price Mart.
Hmm.
They have a Mega Mart, which we may associate with Walmart. That type of stuff. They're here under a different brand, a different name, but
Okay. So what I was trying to get to with that question is, are the electronics that you can find there available at a comparable price to what you would pay for them in the US, or are they costing a lot more?
probably not. They're probably gonna be more expensive.
Okay.
Probably not.
You brought your stuff, like most of your electronics, down with you?
So I will bring them, or I'll just order stuff on Amazon. Like
Okay.
I just get it shipped over. They got courier services, and they that's what I do a lot of the times.
So
Um,
you'll buy it on Amazon in the US and someone will bring it in for you?
so they have businesses. You can send it to a address. Typically, it's in Florida, so
Mhm.
they'll give you like a Florida PO box. The company will, and you can order stuff, have it sent to the address, and then they have planes that come back and forth to deliver the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what I do. If I don't see anything locally and I don't have it, I'll order it, I'll ship stuff over.
Okay. Um,
But be mindful of they got a what's the thing? The duty fees. Make sure it's under $50. And if it ain't, make sure you know how to make an invoice. That's it. That's all I'm telling y'all. All right. But yeah.
okay. Um, what haven't we talked about? Oh, okay, wait, let me turn that off. Boop, boop, boop. All right, let's see. What are the things that you want people to know? The Black expats and repats who are considering Jamaica, what do you want them to know today?
I would like for them, okay, to uh I think it's important if you come into any country, but especially if you come into a predominantly black country, sometimes we'll come and we will project a lot of Americanness, or we are
Mhm.
expecting that. And I say some level of decolonizing needs to happen for you to be successful with your process. Um, I see a lot of people who just is I don't even know more so if it's a culture shock, but it will kind of get to like a lower level when they just really just do not uh treat people well out here. I see again there's a lot of just people cannot they are under the impression that they are coming from America, and so that their presence is honored. People need to roll out the red carpet. I see that a lot. So I would like to, don't do that. Please. They're people, they are humans, even though culturally we may be a little different. I mean, the respect still needs to be there. You are coming. Imagine somebody coming into your house, telling you what to do, how to live, and all this other stuff that you welcome to your house. Imagine that, and then they just coming in there getting all out of pocket. Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would, think people will have that, but a lot of people just don't have that understanding. So, um, do that for me, please, at the very least.
All right. Um,
Oh, Jamaica's good on you too. I don't know who this is. I'm reading the comment.
oh, I blocked them.
Oh,
That's
oh.
what I was doing. That's why I lost track.
Jamaica, you ain't gotta come out here. Jamaica good on you too. If you still watching.
I blocked them.
Anyway.
Thanks, friend. We don't do that here. It wasn't even that I'm good on Jamaica. It was the follow up of ghetto. Who's ghetto? What's ghetto? Your mama? Like, what do we do? What the fuck are we doing? Like,
Yes. Stay away. Don't come. Y'all people who function like that, don't come out here. Please. Do not
ghetto.
come out here. I don't want y'all coming out here. They don't want y'all coming out here either.
Don't do that. Don't show up here doing that. I gotta block them. Go with God somewhere else. Not here, not now. Somewhere else. Thank you. Um, okay. By the way, if you're still watching, anyone who's watching, give it a thumbs up. If you're here, if you like the info, give it a thumbs down. I don't care if you're watching this and you're like, I hate her. Give it a thumbs down so you won't have to ever see my content again. Because when you show up saying things like ghetto, you don't get blocked. And if you're rude, always. I don't know why I have to say this, but like if you say rude things about me, fine, whatever. But about guests, I'm gonna talk about your whole family. Or block you.
And I would do vice versa.
Right? Like I don't play that. I don't know why people do that. Like I don't play that here. Like why would you?
I would do vice versa.
Why would you do that? That don't make no sense. Okay. People have wanted to talk about the Wi-Fi. How is the infrastructure in Kingston? And if you had to, you have a business that you run online, what cities in Jamaica, name 5 cities in Jamaica you would consider living in? Not because you personally love them, but you think you could run your business from them. 5 cities.
Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
Montego Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Negril.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Ooh, I don't know about Portland.
Someone asked about Portland earlier.
I don't know. I think that's
Ochi?
Ocho Rios may be possible. I haven't spent enough time in Ocho Rios only just to visit,
Okay.
but maybe possibly. But yeah, maybe those 4 areas.
Okay. So we can't get to 5.
Maybe I don't know, but at least I'm on record saying.
Okay. Okay. So you feel comfortable in those are 4 areas. And the reason I'm saying this, because y'all, if you don't, a lot of people who move abroad think that like one part of their country, the part that they know of, the rest of the country is like that. Like a lot of people come to Mexico City expecting it to be like the beach. And I'm like, baby, Mexico is a huge place. Jamaica is not a huge country, but it's got a lot of diverse areas. And your internet might not be interneting in the bush, right? So like you need to know if you're thinking of moving here, how much infrastructure you need and what parts of the infrastructure you need. When I lived in Jamaica, we did not have indoor plumbing. I can't live like that again. I know that there are parts of Jamaica I could move to right now where I wouldn't have indoor plumbing. I don't want it. I don't, me personally, don't want it, right? That's important to me. And I'm not saying that all of Jamaica is like that. I'm saying that you might end up somewhere where it's like the water's back there, the outhouse is over there. Um, and so these are things to consider. So when people are on your platform, Black expats and repats in Jamaica, I posted the link. It starts with community in here. Um, how are they having these conversations about infrastructure? Are there like places for them now that you're off Facebook? Are there places for them to chat with each other about their experiences? How does the community work?
So we have three tiers. We have a free tier, and then we have the monthly and annual is the same, but the annual is just discounted. So in the free membership, all right, we have a chat room that's open to all registered members. It's called the group chat. It's just you can get in there, chat, but you won't have access to the rest of the community. But we have, I don't know if I wish, well, I don't, can I show what's in there? We
Yeah.
have like group spaces, forums for everything. We have a remote working group for people who work remotely. And then we have spaces for people to vent, any concerns, whether it's, infrastructure, safety, whatever that is. We have spaces for that. We have spaces for people who come on homeschool, coming to, I'm gonna show you because I don't think just talking about it, we
All
can
right,
do it
show
just
us. Show us. You
okay.
you have the buttons on the bottom to share
Okay,
it. Do you see it?
show y'all what's up in here.
Boop 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 boop. All right, y'all. So I laughed when I saw this question because this is Dion and Dion's Jamaican. Dion knows it's slow. It's slow. It's slow to get stuff done.
That's
That was one of those softball questions.
once you get through like the getting the stuff done part, you should be good. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Anything dealing with like handling your business, bring some snacks and bring some entertainment. Okay, after you
practice patience.
pass that phase, you should be fine. But are y'all
Okay.
seeing the screen? Are you seeing
No,
me?
not yet. I can add it now. Hold on. Let me do this. There we go.
Oh, look, we got somebody in here already. All right, joining some of the groups. So
Okay.
is I got you, girl, in a minute. Okay, let me exit out of this. So this is our community that I have launched on 2 days ago. So
Yay.
we were on Facebook, and I have since we are in the process of transitioning. Please don't go looking because it's no longer up. We ain't on Facebook. This is a new Black expats repats in Jamaica online community. This is the space where you will find the community. We have a main site that where we just offer um, consultations and assistance. If you don't want the community, you just want help. We have a separate site. I can show that later if possible. But this is the community where you will find your Jamaican community. It is for those who are moving or returning to Jamaica. Okay, that's who it's for. You can watch our welcome video, which you will be greeted.
Okay, welcome video. You so fancy.
All right, so that's us, and I put a lot of work into this, so don't mind me if I'm a little boasty, okay? But you will find all the information, disclaimers, privacy policies. You got to be 18, you got to be Black, and a bunch of other stuff. The acceptable use will not tolerate on this platform. All right. This is the main site you can find here, and it'll also be in the menu. All right. And did y'all know we kind of famous, semi-famous? We've been in all of the major news platforms out here in Jamaica. The Big Gleaner, all right, the Observer. We've been on TV, Smile Jamaica out here, all right. Been on the radio. We've been listen. We've been out here, and so this is very near and dear to me. We put a lot into it, so just know when you come, you getting the real deal Holyfield. All right. So these are our current membership tiers. When I scroll down, you'll get more info. But because people would just like going to sign up and they'd be like, I didn't know you had to pay for this. I just decided to put like a block right here. Like this is it. This is all right. What you got?
Mhm.
So lots of information on here. And who this space is for. We will be rolling out, materials and workshops and all that stuff for people who need it and for the different purposes. Um, and so I put this on here, for those who, might have any reservations or, have been in our space and not really have a clear sense of who it's for. All right, so you can go to the website, you can read all of this. These are our link ups. This is some of my beautiful people in my group that we link up with time to time. Don't they look happy?
I
They
do.
look like I'm so glad I'm in Jamaica. Right? Look at that. Like that was not a what's the coordinated pic. Somebody just snapped us all together. We were just
Just happy. Just
oh
happy.
yeah, right? Like look at us.
Mhm.
All right, and this is what you can expect in the community. This is what members have to say. I want to take you inside, so I'm gonna leave y'all to read this on your own time. But this is just the front page. This is what you'll get, and these are some of the other things that we are offering. We have a guidebook, the do's and don'ts of reselling it in Jamaica. You'll have all you. This is a very informative book that my business partner put together. He is a repat. All right, he moved back to Jamaica and he put this together. He's an author, so he made this for us. Very informative. I suggest you grab it. But let's go. Let's take a look inside. So this is my little notification button right here. So it functions just like a social community. All right. So if you're familiar with Facebook or whatever else, it's just like that, and you can save the app from your browser, and it'll save it from the browser, and it'll be like an app on your phone. So you can have we got a little app. I'm not gonna show. I'm gonna show it later. We got like a little app. It's so cute. It's on my phone. Anyway, so notification. Somebody's joining and requesting group access. All right. So the group chat is well. Let me take you to the homepage. And so we just have. I'm still building a homepage out, but it's just like general information that you may need to know. We have a tutorial on how to use the site. I need to complete my platform. You can complete your platform. These are some of our members. These are some of my teammates. That's me. That's Mr. Links. We call him the hot stepper. All right. So he is moving and shaking for us out here in Jamaica. So not only are we online, but locally is very important to us and working with organizations to make the relocation process smoother. She is the lady who helped me, and she's been out here in Jamaica for a long time. And then she's our remote work person. She's also our finance, all that important stuff. That's what she does. So these are some of the spaces. So let's go to the group chat. A few people are in here chatting. Now this is open to everybody.
Even
Um,
free people? Even
yes,
people
free.
who have the free? Okay.
As long as you're registered. You have to be
Okay.
registered on the platform. And please, if you're not trying to come to Jamaica, just leave. This space is for people needing to come to Jamaica. Okay. All right. But I know people
And
just
come to Jamaica to move to Jamaica, not come to Jamaica
yeah,
for their
well,
wedding.
don't come this is for people who need to be here, and it's just to again establish community and socialize with each other. All right, so you'll have a news feed, and you'll probably just see me updating some stuff or whatever in here. People who join, change their picture. Hey y'all, new people in here. You have likes, connections. The connections are like friend requests. All right, you'll find your
Okay.
that you're in. People you can get mentioned. All right, somebody can add your name. They'll mention you, and you'll see who you're following. Members, we've had a good bit of signups, so I don't want to violate no privacy stuff. So I'm gonna just skip on to the groups. Oops. All right, groups. So we made groups for everything we could possibly think of. So we have our general space, or that's just like our common room. for people who are paid. The group chat is for whoever, but for more, in-depth
Mhm.
community, we have that. We have a health and fitness group. We have the arts, roots, and culture. We got Jamaican foodies. If you want access to our link ups and events, that space will be there. We have the ladies link up. This ain't for dating stuff. This is just strictly for. We got a separate platform I'll talk about later. We're launching. But if you just want to, link up with other women in Jamaica, y'all want to do stuff, get together, whatever. There's that. We have something for the men's. All right, social organizing and volunteering for people who want to, do work. We got them by age group. If you're coming with kids, homeschooling, we have separate spaces for repats, and we have separate spaces for expats. If you're coming from the UK or whatever country you're coming from, this is our remote workspace. If you come into Montego Bay, we have a group for people who are in Montego Bay. If you just want to come, you want to lay up on the beach, we got a beach bums group. Decolonizing space. If you're based in Portland, if you in Kingston, where I am, that'll be the group that I'm in. All right, for my Kingston people. And we have different areas. We got our turn up group, which we will be hosting virtual parties. And if somebody's having a local party, we'll put that in here. All right, and then we have other expats. There's a lot of Nigerians in Jamaica. There's a lot of Ghanaians in Jamaica. So everything you could possibly think of. Yeah, we got a LGBTQIA space, single mothers, dance hall diaries, the book club. I don't know, anything that could have been thought of is in here. And so we have our
This is one of the best organized sites I've seen for people.
I know.
I had no idea you were doing all this. This is good. This is good.
I know. And this is number one. All right. But we have other things coming. But so the forums is where important information will be housed, or like information that we see people asking reoccurring questions. So if you have questions about importing, they'll be here. You have questions about Jamaican culture, you're not familiar, they'll be here. The property and vehicle purchasing process will be here. Safety and concerns, social issues, the basics, and we have like our general, why did you move to people come in here to tell their stories in this forum. The basics, what you need to do to set yourself up, get yourself going. All right, banking, all the stuff we talked about, healthcare, housing, Jamaican holidays, the different ministries and government entities, more information about the parishes will be there. All right, so that's the basis of the community. You can moderate people, you can block.
Okay.
Folks over here, and then we have an emergency contact form. So if you want us to put your information on here, that's going to take you to a separate link. But if you want us to, have somebody to contact in the event of an emergency, you can put your information there. We have a survey, and then we have a support ticket, which you probably won't see on here because if you need any issues, you'll just submit a support ticket. And then you'll see your account details, any videos or photos that you uploaded. This will be your inbox. You got an inbox. All right.
What site is this? How did you build it? Tell us more.
I built this.
Like this is not a membership platform. You built the whole thing.
Like it's a membership platform. Yes. I built it. It's it's based on WordPress. So I built it on WordPress. It's a fully built out site.
Like you didn't start with like Mighty Networks or some other platform.
No.
Child, this is good.
No, I did it. This is me. This is mine. I did it.
You looking for any other work, Clarice?
Oh yeah. I'll be mentioning that. Hold on. It's all coming. This is me and my we in here chatting. Okay. See, all right, whole shebang. Everything is in there. You can go over here and click on your profile. Change your picture. You got a cover photo. Let's see how I look on here. Now this is the admin account. So, but you see, you can put all your info in there. You can change. You can update your profile. All of that. You
built this whole thing. You're not making that up.
No.
Is she lying?
No.
As much good. Like I'm not shocked because I know you are a very in I don't want to say intent. I don't want to say hard because nobody's trying to work hard. I don't want to congratulate you for working hard, but like I know you're very focused, and when you have something to do, you do it. But this is
Mhm.
good.
I know. I know. I'm sorry.
She said yes. Yes, it is.
Um,
Okay. So tell us the more and the all and the rest. But before we get there, because I don't want to talk about what you do, the other stuff, I also want to talk about because we mentioned it earlier before we got live. What, in your experience, um, two groups usually show up. We usually talk about two groups when we talk about living in Jamaica. One, like, is it safe for women, which we addressed a little bit earlier, and like violence against women, and LGBTQIA experiences, which we haven't talked about yet, and I think we should talk about now. So, violence against women. I know there's no easy answer to the question, right? But I guess my question for you would be: Do you lived the largest city you lived in the U.S. was Atlanta? Do you feel more safe as a woman in Jamaica than you did in Atlanta, or less safe than you did in Atlanta?
okay, so this is going to be depending on. I feel more safe out here generally.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I think I anywhere outside the U.S. I would feel more safe. But this is because of where I want to say it depends on your social environment and things where you live at in Jamaica, because I don't want to be dismissive of, like, some
Mm-hmm.
of the actual issues. Um, but me, I have that privilege. I can support myself. I can leave a situation if I need to leave. Um, so I have that advantage. Now, if somebody else, just in, well, not the same, but like in similar situations back at home, all right, if you don't have the means or you don't have the support system to, support yourself and, remove yourself from harmful situations, you may have a different experience. So, as a woman who is able to support and, take care of myself, yes, I feel safe. I can't say that, for the next woman who lives here locally may not have the means, not to say that, they not I don't want to again paint that picture, but there are some cases, you have domestic violence situations, stuff like that. So again, if you see them flags, I just say run.
Okay.
Run for the hills. Do not entertain it at all. And again, this may throw some women off because they can be very, loving and all that other stuff. All right. But the moment you sense an inkling of danger, I will say skedaddle. But I feel much safer. Yes.
Okay. So, how have lesbian, gay, queer African Americans been received in the country in this
So
moment?
I want to say, so the stereotype is that Jamaica is super, super, super duper homophobic, which of course they came from a rightful place. Um, and it's probably it's still the essence of it is still here, but it's not because I'm only here, only been here for a few years. I'm still a baby, but from what I've gathered, it was horrible, it was horrendous at one point in period. I see now, okay, I see gay people out living their lives. They out and about. They live in everyday functioning. I don't see them living in fear.
Okay.
As people like to, still communicate. We have people who are, women who may be masculine identifying. They come here, but they have like Jamaican heritage. Like they come back and
Okay.
they're doing fine. They don't have like all those. They're living like normally. I think that now if you're a man, I don't know. We haven't had too many. At least they have presented themselves to us, but that are expats or are returning. But locally, like they living their lives. They not. Ain't nobody trying to set them on fire. I haven't seen. So is it, you may still hear some of the terminology here and there, but it's not like dire. I'm going to say now, if that's it, maybe I don't know. That's not my lived experience, but from recent conversations and people I know who moved, and from observing locally, like they're here, they're not. It's not a dire situation, like where
Right.
they're completely in jeopardy and running for their lives.
So D asked the question that I wanted answered too. So are you seeing gay couples holding hands? Are you seeing any PDA?
I'll see it with women. I typically don't see it with men. So
Okay.
I will see, women, couples, things like that. Men, you may see them together, but they're not like all
Touchy.
over each stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, which probably means that they know it's not it's not that friendly, right? It might not be as bad as it used to be, but it's not a completely open and accepting society.
Right. And again,
Okay.
they will know how to better navigate it because they live here. They know. I'm just going off of me and what I see in my experience. That's not my experience, so don't go saying that ain't what I said. They will know if that is their situation. They will know how to navigate that better. If they do feel like some type of threat is happening, or they're in a situation that's not favorable.
Okay. All right, that's helpful. I think that Jamaica gets a bad rap for a number of things, and that's one of them. And I mean, rightfully so, right? If people don't feel safe,
Yeah,
right?
but
But
they living their life. They have well, again, I'm going off of stories because I'm not that social, but like a lot of the people I know who are on the ground and like more like involved, like they're they're here, they are having a grand old time. They're not worried about you and your homophobia. So they're living and functioning. I don't think they're like living in fear or hiding in fear rather, but
okay,
you still may come across somebody who go on. They may fuss and cuss or whatever, but they ain't gonna do nothing for the most part. They may just show their disapproval, but
okay, all right. That's very helpful. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. Before we go, because we've been at this for a minute. Before we go, is there anything else that we haven't addressed that you want to talk about?
I think that's it. Outside of the stuff that I can show y'all that's on our site, that's everything. Now,
Okay.
if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking to utilize my services, I will also talk about that as well. But
Yes, please do.
experience and what we offer and what we do, that's it in a nutshell. Yeah, they keep their private life private. They know how to, they won't bring that upon themselves. Like if they can avoid it.
They shouldn't have to, right? Like they shouldn't have to keep their private lights private, but the fact that they do tells you it's like that's not probably not as safe as they would like it to be, or they don't
Mm-hmm.
feel it. You know what I mean? Whether it is or it isn't is a factual thing that we'll never really get to the bottom of. Um, but they don't feel as safe as they might in other places. Uh, oh, oh, Mo, here we go. Um, okay, so I always get distracted when I block somebody. What were we talking about? Okay, no, we were talking about you and your
Mm-hmm.
services. So,
Yes.
what services do you offer? How do people hire you?
All right. So I'm kind of booked and busy right now, but in the coming months. All right.
Okay.
Um, Okay, let me start with this. All right, so so on our website,
Hmm.
can I can you make my screen presentable again?
This one? Boop.
Yeah. So this is
Yes.
our main site. All right. And this is just for consultations, guidance, and things like that. What we offer, um, those things. BERJamaica.com. What we offer and what we plan to offer is what you'll have here. Now, I want to talk about some of the other communities because I know, some people like they have found ourselves in our group and they got no intention on living in Jamaica. We
Hmm.
decided to, because I'm the guru now, I'm going to build out a bunch of other communities. So we have decided to build some others out. All right. So you can go to our website, berjamaica.com, right here, and you can click on join our communities. You can join the wait list. So we have a business incubator because we do have a lot of people who wanted to know how to come set up businesses, operate businesses,
Ooh,
function a business.
brilliant.
When you are coming to another country, you need to understand again how they function business wise. It's different. It's just different. All right. So can you come up here, set up a business? Yes. How you deal with that and how you set it up, all of that stuff, you may have to get a bit of know-how. So you can join that, join the wait list because it's not ready yet. Now, for the people who are, wanting to embark in the essence of Jamaica, maybe for periodically, maybe for short term, who not don't necessarily want to be do tourism, but do want to take like a relaxed sabbatical, short term. You want to rest, reset, and rejuvenate. We will be building a wellness platform. And we will be doing retreats and things like that that are based and centered around wellness. I know that's a broad term, but we're gonna map it out clearer. Just join the wait list for now, and you'll see what we have to offer when it's here. Now, the intercultural and international dating platform is for those looking to navigate these international dating waters. Again, there's going to be a guidance space mostly and community. If you come out here, you want to just jump right into something, that's on you. But if you would like, a support system and a little bit of know-how, we will be launching the intercultural dating for Black women. All right, intercultural and international dating. And because some people think Jamaican man is probably Black man, and it's just gonna be there's still some cultural norms you're gonna have to cut through. But that's what this space is for. And that's what we're doing. The RJ platforms. I
Okay.
could. Then I have the Mocha Mazel starter kit. I will personally be launching the Bougie Auntie International Society. That has nothing to do with Black expats repats in Jamaica. That is solely Mocha Mazel. I think I have a link for sign up somewhere. I can put it in the chat. Let me find it first. Make sure I'm giving you the right thing. But yes, that's what I will be doing under my personal brand. I'm just gonna drop it here. All right. I kind of had to put this together just really quickly. So if it look wishy washy, that's me. All right. I'll get it together soon. But the Bougie Auntie International Society is for women who want to just do what I did, get themselves together, travel, be free, live a life of their desires, and just step into their light. Step into their full self and get to a place where you know get to a place where they are fully happy and content and all that good stuff. So that is what I'll be launching under my brand. But the rest of these will be coming soon. So
Okay. You got a lot going on.
yes, I'm Jamaican now, so I got like 15 jobs.
Welcome. Welcome to the club. Mm-mm.
Yes. Um, and as far if you have a small niche community, small business, you would like for me to do something for you, like I have done for mine, I will link my Calendly, and we can schedule some time to talk. I'm still
And
mapping
you,
out my pricing and everything for these services. So just give me a moment to get that together.
Listen, you already got customers in the chat, like, but but about the business. About the business.
It's coming. I had to get that rolled out first, but yeah. So Calendly, I think you should see I threw like an event schedule up for so just get on there, schedule time. You see it. We'll figure it out.
Okay. You
But
dropped the
that's why
schedule here.
I
Okay, so
dropped my.
what can they expect? What can they expect if they get on her calendar? If they get on your calendar?
So on my calendar, you will see. I don't know if I can show it again. Did I give you the right link? I don't think I gave you the right link. Hold on, wait.
Okay, well, let me not post it then.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me find the right place.
Hmm. I see.
Hold on, I'm coming. All right. Back in session.
We getting it together.
I think I sent you the right link, but it's. Let me log in. I'm coming, y'all. Hold on. But yes, I'll be launching my services soon. Can I log in? Okay, yes. So when you reach me, let me share it.
She ain't give me the link yet, y'all.
Go ahead. Oh, shit. All right. So when you reach my Calendly, you'll see the Move Abroad guidance session. I have a section for Jamaica residency via work permit or business. The online community strategy session is for those wanting help to
Can you
build the
share the
online
link?
community. But if you would like for me to actually build out your platform, just click on the Let Me Build Your Online Community tab.
Can you share
Which
the link?
is here. I'm dropping the link. I'm dropping the link.
Thank you. So they can
All
see
right.
it while we're talking about it.
Functioning. I think I misspelled. Oh, I misspelled it in the first one. So this is the last link. The Calendly is what will be is where you can schedule me or schedule some time. I don't know if you're seeing it.
I am. I am. Let me grab this and drop this here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay.
And that's it. That's all I got, y'all. That's
All
every.
right.
That's
So
it.
if you want move abroad guidance, if you want Jamaican residency versus via work permit, an online community strategy session, or let me build your online community. This online community thing, girl, a vibe. It's a vibe. This is looking good.
So how
Oh,
to happen actually? So let me. I don't know if Stephanie is on here, but I would like to thank her
mm,
because when we was in San Miguel de Allende, I was like, I really want to get off of Facebook. I was like, I just this is just too, it's very stressful operating a Facebook group, even though you're trying to offer services, it just was not the best space for doing what we wanted to do. And so she sat me down. She was like, girl, let's get this plan. We mapped out a business plan. And I want to say, I think I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give myself a month to get off of Facebook. And it's been a little over a month, but yeah, the wheels started turning, and I started, trying to figure out how could I do this and, have a sustainable space and actually have the space function like I would want it to function. And so she helped me map that out, and I would like to thank her. But yeah, I was like, I'm getting off Facebook. So now we're here. Yes. So yeah, I've been putting in the work. I can't hear you if you're talking. I think you're muted.
muted from my last sneeze. You've been putting in the work, and I'm so proud of you. Look at this.
Thank
Look at
you.
this. All right, folks, if you're thinking of moving to Jamaica, we dropped lots of links here for Clarice's community. Get in the community. Here's the thing. One of you right now is like, I want to move to Jamaica. I want to move to Jamaica next year. But I'm not going to pay $45 to get advice and join the membership and figure out how to do it the best way possible. I'm going to figure it out on my own. Let me tell you, for the price of, I don't know,
This price is
two
not
Big
going to stay.
Macs. You said
This
what?
is new. This price will not be staying there. This is new
Mm,
introductory price.
mm-mm,
It will be increasing.
mm.
Um, so if
As
you
it
want to
should.
get,
No, I saw her price and I was like, why is it so low, girl? What are you doing? That's low.
yeah. So for working out the kinks, with us being a new platform,
Mm.
but eventually, yeah, their price will be increasing. And moving abroad is not like, if you can get, the sooner you get information, the better. Like, again, I'm 2 years in, still learning, still getting comfortable, still getting acquired. It's not like an instantaneous process. It's gonna be, years you getting comfortable, just getting settled. Like, it's gonna take some time. So the sooner you get started, the better.
Okay.
The sooner you get started, the better.
All right.
Okay, that's
So
my advice to you.
now's your chance to get in on the membership at the ground price, the ground floor, and let's be real, like $45 for a year in a membership community, you're not going to find that nowhere else. And
I'm
even if
giving
you
you.
only get one tip that saves you 3 hours, is that not worth the price? All right, y'all. And that the community was so slick, all the different groups. I want
I know it's amazing. I know.
to. Every time you say that, I'm like, yes, own it. Own it. Own it. All
Yes.
right, Clarice, thank you for being here with us. Everyone, thanks for hanging out. This was a very good, almost 3 hours. We did that. We did the thing. We did the thing. So thank you guys. If you have more comments, you can find Clarice all over the internet. Tell them real quick where they can find you.
So on YouTube, Instagram, I'm kind of famous on TikTok. I got a Facebook page. Everything at Mocha Mazel. Okay, MochaMoizelle. All right. My website, you can click the link, mochamazel.starter kit is where you will get the Move Abroad starter kit. And then you can go to my Calendly, which is also linked on my site, but you can go to my Calendly for everything else related to what I do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all your info.
Thank you.
This was gonna bless. Listen, 6 months from now, someone's gonna watch this video because they want to move to Jamaica, and they're gonna be like, "Boom! The resources are here." Like they're gonna do it in half the time. I promise you, y'all.
I know.
Nothing, nothing shortens the speed, the time between where you are and where you want to be, like someone else's help. Someone else's help will get you there twice as fast. Just do it. Just do it. All right, y'all. Clarice, thank you so much for being here. Everybody else, see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.